Hey everybody, welcome. It's Saturday, right? Yes, and that means it's time for another episode of the Gym Master Show Live. The reason why I'm asking if it's Saturday is because we were on the air just a couple of hours ago with an afternoon episode of JMS Live. Yeah, our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. If you missed the episode earlier, don't fret. You can see it right here on our YouTube channel, Gym Masters TV, as all of the episodes, 458 episodes. I believe this is 459 episodes that we have done live just about 7 days a week. I mean, there may be 1 or 2 days where we took off because I had a television shoot, some other project in the industry, or it was a family day, or possibly, Christmas Day or something. But generally, we've been here since we launched this entertainment lifestyle talk show series day in and day out. And it's been amazing. Thanks to all of you, because you guys make it happen. You're watching, you're sharing, you're tagging, you're celebrating the Gym Master Show Live. This is really something special because we do come to you live. We have an international audience. We have guests that come in from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, health and wellness, inspiration, comedy, sports, you name it. It's a variety talk show with something for everybody. We have a lot of levity. We have a lot of good times. And because the show is live, anything can happen too. Like, for example, as I'm speaking to you right now, at the time of this show, we have a big hurricane headed right here. Yes, we are in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston, a beautiful area as it is, sunny and everything else. Well, guess what? Hurricane Henri is plunging forward. I guess there's a low pressure system on one side of it, a high pressure system on the other. So it's funneling the hurricane right towards the northeastern United States, New York, Connecticut, northern New Jersey, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and inland as well. So crossing fingers for everybody who's watching live who might be in the path of Hurricane Henri. Cool name, Henri, but personality, not so hot. Good to have you with us, gang. We are off tomorrow as it's a family day tomorrow, but it's a good day that we are off because the hurricane's coming. We have another show scheduled on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Hopefully we don't lose the power. If you don't see us here, that means the power was knocked out due to the hurricane. And hopefully we'll be back online with you guys. But if that's the case, you can, if you're not in the hurricane zone, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, New England area, you can binge watch the 458, now going to be 459 episodes, which a lot of people do. They love to watch our episodes. They binge one after the other. And don't forget, we also do, if you didn't know, we do host chat levity episodes. What's that? Well, that's where I just pop on as a surprise and you and I chat back and forth about everything, life and food and travel and all kinds of cool things going on in our world. And that's a lot of fun. We had one, I think, about a week or so ago, and it was epic. We don't script anything. We just pop on. Matter of fact, with these episodes, too, of the Gym Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, we don't script these either. We just have a good time with everyone. And so it's great to have you with us. Those of you who are experiencing double levity today with our second show of the day. And we welcome you, everybody watching around the world, and we welcome our Levity Squad. Now, if you're not sure what that is, because you hear this word levity used, as I say, last year in the summertime, I said the show has a lot of light, love, and levity, right? Pretty cool. Well, I said it too fast, and I said the word levity. From that day forward, our viewers said, hey, we are your levities. This is the Levity Hall show. You're Mr. Levity. This is Levity Hall here, which hopefully you see all the beautiful colored lights and everything. Hopefully we will have light tomorrow. We will see. But good to see all the levities watching around the world. And of course, we've got a very special guest joining us. Now, we had planned for 2 guests, and we have a little bit of a surprise. However, celebrity personal trainer, health expert extraordinaire, and happens to be wife of actor Kevin Sizemore, great friend of our show, who was on the show, I'd say maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago. If you didn't see that episode with Kevin, it was epic. He's a great guy, and he was a guest on the show. While his fabulous wife is a celebrity personal trainer, health expert, author, podcast co-host, and more, Gina Lombardi. Gina is joining us live from Los Angeles in just a second. We were going to have Miss America 2012, Laura, on the show, but something popped up last minute. No hurricane where she is, but other things get in the way. While we are here on our YouTube channel, gang, we would love it if you subscribe to Gym Masters TV. It's a channel designed to entertain, inspire, inform, educate with all these episodes of the Gym Masters Show Live, Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. We also have our Masters Mantra series on there as well, which I know you guys like. That's quick. They're kind of like TikTok videos, but they're YouTube videos, episodes of our Masters Mantra series, quick visual and verbal inspirational videos. And I know you guys like that. And if you have not seen that on our channel, Gym Masters TV, check it out. So subscribe. We would love that as we're continuing to build this series together and this community together. And thanks to all of you who have subscribed. I know you've been sharing and telling the world. Click the notification bell. There's a little bell icon there. You probably wondered what that is. If you click on it, that way there you'll be alerted when we have our episodes of our series live so you can participate, our surprise pop-up shows and everything else we do for all of you here live on the Gym Master Show Live. Sort of an old school quality to it, bringing back the lost art of conversation, Dick Cavett, Carson style, with a modern vibe of today. So share the levity, tell the world about the show. And of course, if you're enjoying this episode or any of the episodes of our series, be sure and give us a thumbs up on our YouTube channel. We would love that. Click like, thumbs up, and leave a comment too. Leave a comment for us underneath this episode. We love that. We really sincerely appreciate when you guys do that. You have been doing it. You've been posting some really beautiful things too. And thank you so much, gang. And YouTube loves it too, because then they take this episode and they blast it out to more people. Yes. As our dear friend Tess LaBella says, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Love you, Tess. You're always looking out for us, my friend, in beautiful Florida. Here you're in Florida, we're in the north, and we're getting a hurricane. Huh? Good to see you, Tess. And she is in beautiful Florida, in the southern part of Florida. Our dear friend Tess LaBella. Alessandra says, hi, lovelies. She's in North Carolina. Good to see you, Alessandra. And Kathleen is in New York City, and she says the rain has begun. A little thunder and lightning before, too. Ugh, stay safe. Good to see you again. Yeah, I think you're in the cone for, landfall for the hurricane. And I think they said it's the first landfall in 30 years where it's a direct hit situation. So keep your fingers crossed. Kathleen, I hope you're doing well there in NYC proper, there in the city. And Tess says, good evening. Love you, Gym Masters and the Lovities. Well, you're definitely one of our Lovities, Tess. And we love you as well. And good evening to you. Please stay safe. We are doing that. We got all the running around today. All the hatches are battened down. We picked up everything we need. So if lights and power do go off, we, have everything, food and everything else. My nephew, who is on Long Island, is actually still in Florida with the family. And I think that was a smart move to stay in Florida because he's on the coast, on the north shore of Long Island. And it's going to get a little, heady there as well. We will definitely let you know. I will text you, my friend, as well. I got a lot of texts and all kinds of calls and colleagues of mine. Everybody's like, keep us abreast of what's going on because it's a tough one that's headed our way. Good evening, Jim and Lovities. Good to be back. Merlin was away, and now she's back. We kept the porch light on for Merlin, who's in Ontario, Canada. Maybe I'll be passing through Ontario one of these days, and we will have lunch. Merlin, you can take me around Ontario. That would be kind of cool. Inner Kip, good to see you. Welcome back. Nice to be home in Lovely Hall, right? Hello, Jim and Lovely family from Mary Bishop, also in Florida, not getting a hurricane, which is good. You guys have had your share, but you're from Massachusetts originally. So you're probably talking to relatives and friends, wishing them well up in the Boston area. Hi, Jim Lodies and guest. Yes, and guest. Gina will be with us in a second. Jen Barry is comfortably nestled in the mountains of Allentown, Pennsylvania. You were at a birthday party. That's terrific. Dawn, good to see you. And Mary got a personal happy birthday sung to her and her granddaughter from me and actress Frances McGarry, who's also on Long Island, New York, getting ready for the hurricane. We were comparing notes, and she got a wonderful ad-libbed surprise happy birthday sung to her. So happy birthday again, Mary Bishop. We love having you with us as well. And everybody that's tuning in, look at all this love here from everybody that's tuning in. Jane is here. She's watching from Sweden, as always. Jane's a troopity. Jane was with us earlier, and Jane's with us again. We had Anais with us earlier. She watches from Paris, France. Juanita was here with us earlier. She, of course, we know, watches from South Africa. And yes, full tank of gas. We have full tank of gas in our cars. They're in the garages. So we got everything. The only thing we still got to do after this show is run out and get the patio furniture in because, patio furniture becomes like missiles. And some of the neighbors are doing that now. That's the only thing we have left that we have to, because I had the other show today and we have the show tonight. We didn't get a chance to get the outdoor lawn furniture in. So we got to do that. We have time. Tomorrow's going to be more of the thick of it. Full tank of gas and getaway gear. Getaway gear, clean underwear, things like that. Get that getaway gear going. Good stuff, gang. You guys are so fluid and passionate, and I love that as well. And if there's any more breaking weather bulletins, Kathleen, certainly post them here. Again, this won't matter to anybody that watches this episode, 3 weeks from now or 6 months from now. But hey, we're live, so we're having some fun. So, all right, and we love you so much too. Getaway gear. Like you mean like raincoats or do you mean a rowboat with an oar? Trader Joe's gift card. Actually, the house is loaded up with Trader Joe's, and then a couple of other places. We ran to Walgreens. We went to the post office. I had to ship a package to the day job, one of the day jobs. I wear many hats. From a TV shoot we did last week with a guest that came in from Texas. I had the hard drive and we had to ship it to the city, New York, of course, so they can process and produce it. And we had to get that out. The post office had lines out the door because of what's happening. Everybody, there wasn't panic. I didn't see panic, which is really good. Northeast, resilient lot in the Northeast. They don't really panic like other parts do. They just roll up their sleeves and they pitch in. So gang, oh yes, flashlights, batteries, clothing, stuff like that. And we also, Gina's going to give us a pass on this. We did get a couple of things like some potato chips, and I don't usually eat all that. And we did get a few Oreo cookies, and I don't usually eat all that. But if we're not trapped, but if we lose power, because they said there is a possibility we could lose power for 7 to 10 days. You would really miss us if we weren't here for 7 to 10 days. We have a week worth. We have guests all lined up for next week. That would be some heavy duty rescheduling. Hopefully, if the power goes off and the Wi-Fi knocks us out, the whole region out. Hopefully it won't be that long, but there is a possibility if the storm is strong enough where power could be lost in the Northeast for a while. So hopefully not. So anyway, it's great checking in with everybody. We welcome you to our show. We're also going, and anybody that's watching live, thanks so much. And anybody that's watching later on, we really thank you guys as well. You're the best. I mean, I've done a lot of shows, television, radio, stage, and film over the years on network, local, regional. And this audience that we have, this community that we have created here on the Jim Master Show Live, it's really something special. I mean, I've had shows where I've had interaction with lots of viewers over the years and listeners. But you guys, this really has this family atmosphere. And, there's not a lot of things on the internet that do that. You can throw up a video that's edited and you just throw it up there. But we're here, we're live, we're interacting. And there's just something special about it. And I always wanted to do this show this way, where there's an audience that feels like they're a part of the show. I think that's really, really important. So with all of that said, and to keep the comments flowing, you guys are the absolute best. I do want to let you know that our very special guest, Gina, is here, and we're very excited to have her here. Not a great shot? That's an absolutely, positively winner of a shot. And why don't we welcome her live from LA right now? Gina Lombardi, you are in the house and we love it. How are you, my friend?
Thank you, Jim. Oh my gosh. And hello to all your lovities. You have so much love on this show. I'm looking at all the comments and wow, I just want to dive in there. And somebody said something about a casserole. I want to know what's in that. I think it was tater tots.
Oh,
and
yes.
now I'm seeing Irish whiskey. What is going on here?
Yeah. If you mention food, your health expert and fitness expert and celebrity personal trainer, and we're talking tater tots casserole and wait,
I love it.
If it's whiskey, is that Jen Barry having whiskey already?
Hey, there's no carbs. There's no carbs in the whiskey.
No
You're
carbs.
good.
That must be part of her getaway gear, is her whiskey. Yes, Alessandra in North Carolina made a tater tot casserole. Our guest was a singer-songwriter, and she's up in Buffalo, New York, but she is originally from Waco, Texas, and her family makes this tater tot casserole. And I say, "Ooh, never heard of that." I do love the Irish in me on my mother's side. Potato is something that I just love, but I try to do it sparingly. So they got into a whole conversation about this tater tot casserole, which I never heard of before. So Alessandra sent me the recipe, and we're gonna try it. Jameson whiskey for Jen Barry in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, hey, that's where I'm from. I'm from Pennsylvania, not the mountains, but I'm from right outside of Philadelphia. So,
oh, you are? I didn't know that.
Yes,
she's in Allentown.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, I grew up near Villanova University, right near there.
Sure.
If you guys know where that is.
You're an East Coast girl.
Oh yeah.
I knew you had spunk.
The more we start talking, the more you'll hear the
hands
Philly.
are going to be moving.
Yeah, well, I am Italian and I'm from Philly, so
Philly,
look out.
New York. It's the
Thank
same
you, Jane.
thing.
Thank you, Jane, for the welcome. Gosh, you have such great people.
Let me ask you something, and I know you're as authentic as they come. Do you still eat Philly cheesesteaks when you go to Philly, or are they off your list?
Can I turn my mic off?
If you're from the Philadelphia area, I think they might revoke your Philly card if you don't have a cheesesteak when you go there. It's like going to New York and not having the New York pizza,
You know what? I totally do. And look, I'm not a purist. I help people lose weight, get in shape. Some people I help them gain weight, which is really interesting. But I don't, just cut everything out of the world that's beloved, like a cheesesteak when I go back to Philly.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to add it in and take something away from somewhere else. So you keep it even. Yeah.
Right. Moderation. Exactly. And, maybe you substitute it for something else. What first sparked your interest in fitness, in health, and making it, really part of your brand, part of who you are? You've authored a book, you have the podcast. Were you always this way? Was it something that always was of an interest to you, or was there things that happened in your life's journey that got you to say, you know what, I think I'm going to turn in a more healthier direction? Because sometimes that's what happens to people too. That something happens in their life, and then they say, you know what, no more of that. I'm going to do this. Was this something you were always interested in?
It's a good question. When we were kids, I grew up in a family of 7 kids, a nice Italian Catholic family.
You had sauce on the stove every Sunday.
Sunday. And we call it gravy, by the way. It's not sauce. I'm just saying.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
It's gravy. And all my peeps from Pennsylvania know it's called gravy. But 7 kids, 5 boys, and me and my sister. And we basically had a basketball team or a football team or whatever you want to call it. And I'm sorry about the dogs barking.
Well, that's
There's nothing I
fine.
could do.
Hey, if the dogs jump on your lap, like I said, this audience loves pets, food, everything. Bring them in.
No, I better not. It'll be a
Is Kevin keeping them under control?
Kevin is shooting an HBO series in Atlanta, so he's not even here.
He is, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll have to have him back on so we can update us on some of the, since we chatted last, we had such an awesome time. For those tuning in late, Kevin Sizemore, the fabulous actor, great guy, husband and wife. So do you keep Kevin, do you work with Kevin on his fitness? Because obviously, being an actor, being in the public eye, we all have to be fit and look good and be healthy. And you're his trainer as well, I would imagine, huh?
Yeah. I mean, when I first met him, while we were dating, I got him into shape, and he was always lean and in pretty good condition, but he just was doing the wrong things.
Yeah.
He was spending a lot of time on the bike when he should have been weightlifting. And so when I switched his
and that
his
West
routine,
Virginia diet too, probably, right? A lot of heavier
lots of tater tots,
comfort food, and
lots of steak, potatoes,
right. Carbs,
Twinkies, like a lot of junk food, but he's cleaned up his act and he's really healthy now. And when he's getting ready to do something, he automatically knows what to do now. I don't have to tell him anymore. He knows exactly what to do. But getting back to answering your question about me growing up, you asked me about how I got
inspirations and what inspired you to live a healthy lifestyle, fitness, and really make it a part of who you are and share it with everybody else like you do.
Yeah, well, we grew up eating everything. We ate junk food. We ate, tasty cakes, as everybody knows, from Pop-Tarts. Kool-Aid. Are you ready for this one? I dare any of your other guests to say that they ate this when they were a kid. We used to eat raw hot dogs.
Oh, did you really? That we never did, but I knew there were kids in our area in New York on Long Island that did eat them. Yes. Raw hot dogs. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. And in Philadelphia, we have something called Scrapple, which I think is really unique to Philly.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's just all these parts of meat and stuff that they put all together. It's like scraps of everything. And it's like a breakfast sausage kind of thing, but it's called
almost
Scrapple.
like a spam type of situation. Yeah.
But you fry that up, delicious, right?
Yeah.
Well, we were active, we were really active kids. We played sports in the front yard. We played basketball in the driveway. We played sports in the street. We rode our bikes. We walked everywhere. We were not overweight kids. So it's just really strange that, we weren't overweight, because these days things are different now. Kids are home. They're not going out as much. They're in front of a computer. So they're not getting as much exercise as we did when we were kids. So I decided that I wanted to be on the education end of that and become a trainer when no one else was a trainer. So that was pretty crazy.
So did you start to, who were some of your first clients? Were they the family, the friends, and then you started bringing people on board? How did it start developing for you?
Well, that's interesting, because when I first moved here, I was not a trainer. I actually had my license as a registered dental hygienist. And so that's what I went to school for.
Just had my teeth cleaned last week. No cavities.
Yay.
Yes.
Hey, Jim.
We figured during a pandemic, there might be a cavity or two with some of the slippage of eating childhood comfort foods during a pandemic, but no cavities.
That's great. You don't want to have cavities as an adult or as a kid, but
Right.
But when I first moved here a long time ago, I got a job in a public relations firm in Beverly Hills. Nothing I was trained to do. I just said, okay, I'll just take any job, because I just moved here. And I worked as the receptionist. Well, that lasted about 2 weeks, because I did a good job. Yay, me. And then they asked me to move up as an account executive assistant. And then I eventually became an account executive after about 8 months. So we had a bunch of celebrities as clients. Yeah. And what I noticed about these celebrities that would come in is a lot of them actors got roles in either film or television that they weren't physically ready for. And so they were scrambling to try to lose weight. What should I do? Should I do Weight Watchers? Should I do Jenny Craig? Is there a diet pill I should take? And having my science and health background from the University of Pennsylvania, if I can just plug my alma mater there, I realized that there was a strong need to help people lose weight and get in shape. And I had already worked in a sports medicine facility back in Philly on the weekends while I was going to school. And so I had a background in fitness already. So I put the two together and became one of the very first trainers ever, because we're talking 1989, 1990. Okay, so this was quite a while ago. There were no personal trainers. So me and two other guys basically pioneered this profession, which is incredible. So some of my first clients were, some of this cast of Star Trek, The Next Generation. I've worked with people for years with Tom Cruise, with musicians like Beck and Isaac Hayes, Chick Corea. I worked with Leah Remini, Kevin James from King of Queens. A lot of celebrities over the years, and it's just been a tremendous career for me. And I feel like I really did my part to help people have a better lifestyle, a healthier lifestyle, and give them the knowledge to where they don't need me anymore, even though they stay with me for a long time. But I want them to learn.
So do you consider yourself like a coach as well?
Definitely.
Yeah, you're a coach too, right? You're not holding their hand, you're giving them the tools they need. So when Gina is not on the phone or on Zoom or in the room with them, they can call upon some of the things that Gina taught them, say, oh yeah, Gina said this, Gina, oh, that's right. And you've instilled also not just the technique and the methodology, but also the confidence and the appreciation of self. A lot of this is also tied to self-worth, confidence, resilience. There's a lot of that in play with all of this, as much as the physical appearance changes and the lowering of blood pressure and then the positive health benefits. A lot of it is also a mindset and sort of bringing back that confidence and that believing in yourself too, right? Which is invaluable, because when you achieve that, then suddenly your relationships are better, you're more productive at work, and all of these other residual things happen, which can be fantastic, right?
That's so true. And I just want to shout out to Marilyn for saying she loves raw hot dogs. Don't do that.
Yes. Yes.
But thank you for saying that.
Alessandra had them as kids, and Jen in Allentown, Pennsylvania had Scrapple. And
oh my gosh, really? That's so funny.
See what you started? Now people are going to be Googling Scrapple. We're not saying, just so you know, we're not saying Snapple, we're saying Scrapple.
Scrapple. But yeah, I have to say, how many people out there, and to your lovities out there that are watching right now, how many of you love your job and would choose it today again if they had to? And I have to say that I would, because I absolutely love it. I love working with people one-on-one. I have done group stuff over the years, and I've also trained trainers as well. And that's fun. But being able to work one-on-one with somebody is, whether they're a celebrity or not, it doesn't matter. Just anyone. It's so rewarding to see them change for the better and make lifestyle changes so that they'll have a long quality of life, and not just a long life that maybe isn't, where they have disease and things wrong with them, or they're overweight or whatever. So I encourage everybody to do something, even if it's just getting out and walking. It's absolutely better than doing nothing. It really is.
What about the culture that we're in, where everything, sometimes what you see on TV and the films and magazines, everybody is supposed to be paper thin, almost to the point where you look like, you don't even eat. I know there was a period where looking, super skinny, almost bony, was actually in. But that's not healthy as well. And some people, they'll go on these situations, like they'll do that dreaded word diet. And I've always heard 99% of diets actually fail. But they'll do like drastic things, like not eat for days or just drink water and that's it. And some of those things can be really harmful, right?
Absolutely. You have to do something that you can sustain. You can't just go on a diet and then not do that diet anymore. You have to choose something or get help or do a program that you can live with forever. And that is how I teach. I call myself a teacher because I am a teacher. I am also a coach, a fitness coach as well, a strength and conditioning coach. So, but I have to say that 100% of your success is diet. And what does diet mean? It doesn't mean you're on a diet. Diet is whatever you eat. If you eat Skittles all day, that's your diet, right?
That's right.
So it's not like you're going on something and going off of it again. It's so simple, Jim. Here, I'm going to give it to you right now. This is that magic pill that everybody wants. How do I lose weight? You're going to have 4 categories of food. 3 times a day, I want you to pick one item from each category, put it together, and that's a meal. If you do that 3 times a day, you'll be fine. You'll lose weight and you'll be healthy.
What are the categories?
Good question. Funny that you ask. Protein. So lean proteins like chicken, fish, turkey. You could even use a good protein powder. If you're vegan, you can use a pea protein powder. There's so many options. You can even do a little bit of lamb and pork, but keep it to 4 ounces if you're a female and 5 to 6 ounces if you're a male. Now add to that a healthy carbohydrate. So what would that be? Well, that would be a sweet potato, maybe a corn tortilla. Now this is in case anybody has any food allergies, and you would just not eat whatever you're allergic to.
What that is, right?
Yeah, you could do a piece of fruit, berries, apples. These are low sugar, high fiber fruits. So you're going to do a protein, a healthy carb, and it could even be some brown rice in there, but it can't be 2 cups of rice. It should be about a half a cup of rice cooked. Okay. So
that's where we
control.
go wrong. If we love it, we say, oh, well, we'll have
I know
2 cups of this, that, and the other.
Exactly. Portion control is a big part of it. And then you're going to add a vegetable. So pretty much any vegetable. I'm not big on the starchy ones like peas, corn, and potatoes because they are very starchy and they're carbohydrates. So, but if you try to stick with the
How about sweet potatoes? You always
sweet
hear
potato is fantastic.
They're good.
Absolutely. Now that would be in your carbohydrate column because potatoes are very starchy.
Yeah.
So we have a protein, a good carb like oatmeal, sweet potato, maybe a tortilla, some rice, and then we have a vegetable. Try to pick the really bright colored green, dark green veggies. I love kale. I love spinach. You get extra points with me if you eat those too. Broccoli, cauliflower, peppers, the bright colors of peppers. And then lastly, the 4th pillar, the 4th category is a good healthy fat. Olive oil, but you got to keep it to a minimum, 1 tablespoon. Olive oil, olives, nut butter, almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter, but keep it to 1 tablespoon. Now, if you take all those 4 things, put it together, make a meal, do it 3 times a day, I guarantee you, if you're portion controlled, you will absolutely lose weight.
And drink a lot of water too.
And drink 64 ounces a day.
A lot of people don't do that. They skimp on the water.
Yeah.
They'll have the coffee and the tea and the other things, but not, and they'll say, well, there's water in that, but it's not the same. There's water in there. Yeah.
Hey, there's water in fruit, but we don't count that because you want to make sure you're drinking 64 ounces of water, of clean water every day. It's absolutely essential for health, for all the processes in your body, and also for weight loss.
Speaking of the weight loss, a number of people have been saying, that's what they're trying to achieve. And that's something, everybody makes those New Year's Eve resolutions. And then by the day after New Year's Day, whoosh, it doesn't happen. Why do you think that is? Do we set ourselves up too much? Is there too much expectation that was rolled into it and then we just forget about it?
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure if you do New Year's resolutions. And in one of the shows I did a radio show in January. We were talking about this very thing, that when New Year's comes around, I don't set resolutions for myself, because what you're basically saying is, in the whole year prior to January, you can do whatever you want. And then January 1st, you're going to change it. Why wait till January 1st? Why not start today? Start right now. It's what time on the East Coast? It's 8:30. Is that
Yeah,
right?
about 20 to 9. Yeah.
20 to 9. Start today by not eating anymore tonight. Try not to eat after 8 o'clock. Okay. Have some decaf tea, or have like a sparkling water or something, but try not to eat after 8 o'clock. And tomorrow morning, and I'm talking to you guys, Dean, Jen, Mary, Alessandra, Tess, all you guys, start tomorrow by putting 4 items together in the categories I just mentioned, and make a meal out of it, make it healthy, and do that 3 times a day. And you will, if you're wanting to lose weight, you're going to lose weight. And you're also just going to feel more energetic.
Yes, that's the
Yes.
key. Because so many people, they look for energy in the energy drinks.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
they'll overdo the caffeine. They'll do energy drinks, the Red Bulls and all these other things, and they'll just try to get that burst of energy. But that's a and then a that's not so good. You go up, you go down. You're loaded with the sugar and the caffeine. So you shouldn't look for those quick fix energy things that are out there. It should be more of a maintained, right? It's like, isn't it really about also maintaining the blood sugar level as opposed to having it go up and
Absolutely.
down?
Jim, you could come work for me.
I
You
was going to
totally
say,
get it.
I'll
You
be there.
you
We got a
totally get
hurricane
it.
coming here, so I'll be there. Darn, I
I
should have
know,
left
it's like
yesterday. Now I can't leave. Flights.
85 degrees and sunny today in California, which is our typical. But and I just saw somebody mention avocado. Dawn mentioned
Yes.
avocado. That is an excellent choice for a healthy fat. But remember, the entire avocado is, about 50 grams of fat. So depending on the size of the avocado, that's far too much for a day. So if you're really going ham on the guacamole, you're overloading yourself with fat calories. You've got to keep that avocado to about 1/8 of an avocado, or 2 tablespoons. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you slice it really thin and you put it on a sandwich, you're going to get that flavor without all those calories. And I'm sure a lot of people are going, what? Like an eighth of an avocado? That's nothing. But look how many calories are in it.
I know.
I know. It's
know.
crazy.
They're like, gee, that's just enough to put on the front of my tongue. And that's,
I know, but
know.
if you slice it really thin, you can make as part of your sandwich. It's fantastic.
You know what happens too, and it's amazing how your body does adjust. A lot of times people think, and there might be a little bit of a withdrawal that you have going, if you're going to reduce something, but sugar is very, very, very addictive. And I'm not really a big sugar person, meaning, if there's a choice between like this big cake with all this frosting and all this other stuff, or a little dish of pudding, I'll actually go with the pudding, or yogurt ice cream, almond milk, things like that I do. But what's really interesting a lot of times is, people who love sugar, again, my sister and I are more savory. I like the savory,
You like,
the salt, the
salty.
savory. If there's a dessert table over there or the appetizer table over there, go right to the apps first.
Right.
But sugar, coming off sugar or reducing sugar is really a good thing, because sugar is tied with so many different things: heart disease, cancer, inflammation in the body, possibly
Look at you.
Alzheimer's. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it?
Jim, look at you go. I'm so impressed. Yes. Let me tell you something about sugar. And it was really only became mainstream, this information, like about 10 or 15 years ago.
Right.
Here, it's not necessarily the cholesterol in your diet. We need cholesterol in our body for various different processes, okay? And we need fat in our diets. The problem is, when you eat sugar, the sugar makes the line, and you can look this up. I'm not just making this up. It makes the lining of the arteries and veins sticky. and it makes the cholesterol stick to the insides of the arteries, and then it gets clogged. So it's not the cholesterol, it's the sugar causing the problem. Okay, so that's why people have high cholesterol. That's why people have strokes and heart attacks, because it makes it inflamed. So when those little like kind of clots of fat and sugar that are stuck to the artery break off, it causes either a heart attack or a stroke or an embolism. So this is why we need to cut our sugar back, not to mention what it does to your A1C, which is a sugar marker for diabetes. So that's another reason why you need to cut the sugar back, and for the reasons of inflammation in your entire body. So you're absolutely 100% correct on that. So if we could even just cut it back, you'd be doing yourself a huge favor.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
because fat got a bad rap, sugar was sort of celebrated because of lobbying and everything. But then they realized that sugar really is a culprit, as delicious as it may taste. So what do you do for alternatives? There's like a million different types of sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, all these different things. Honey, but they say there's, that's very sweet, or it can be confusing to the consumer as far as what do you do? Because there's so many things on the shelves out there, and one says it's better than the other, and one says it's healthier than the other. And it can be a big maze of confusion, and somebody wants just a little bit of sweetness in their tea or whatever it is, or they're making a recipe that calls for a little sweetness. What is one to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. And, I believe anything in moderation is okay. But what I don't believe in is if you use high amounts of sweeteners, like, the pink one, which is saccharin, sweet and low. We know it causes cancer. So why even bother? So that one's out. Then there's the blue one, which is equal, which is aspartame. And we know that not just for fetal ketonurics, but other people that are sensitive to it, it can actually give you symptoms that I know a few people that thought they had MS, but it turned out to be that they were ingesting too much aspartame or equal. So that one's out. Then there's the yellow one, which is Splenda, that's sucralose. Okay, we're not sure about that one. So to me, that one's out. Okay, so what do we have left? We have stevia, which comes from a plant, which is totally safe. Some people don't like the fact that it has an aftertaste. So you may or may not like that. But there's even sodas now that are made with stevia, and that's great. So if you want a soda, or pop, as some people call it in different parts of the country, try one that has stevia in it. Totally safe. They only use a little bit to get a lot of sweetness. You can use that in your tea. If you don't like the aftertaste, you might want to try monk fruit. And that's really good.
Yes, I tried that actually. I was on a TV shoot in let's see, Temecula. It was Temecula, California. And that was the first time I was there. And what a cool area. That's beautiful out there towards the desert. Really nice. And it was a woman I was interviewing. She was a dancer, not for this show. It was actually for a television show in New York, news program. So we were sent out to Temecula, to LA, and then drove to Temecula. And she's in a wheelchair. She's a former dancer. She got MS. And we went there to interview her because she, does a lot of inspirational stuff. And we showcased her career, and she made some tea for us when we had some downtime. And she came out with the monk fruit. And I'm like, what is that? She says, try it. Put a little in put a little in, try it. I'm like, my God, this is unbelievable how great it tastes. You know what I mean? No aftertaste. It's delicious and a heck of a lot healthier than standard tea or some of those artificial sweeteners. So it's amazing stuff.
Yeah. And so the monk fruit comes in an orange packet. So I don't know what they're going to do when they run out of colors, because it started with pink, blue, yellow, green is stevia. And now the monk fruit is orange. So, but it's good. And now honey, I know you're probably wondering about honey. Honey is definitely just straight sugar. Okay. But honey also has some amazing properties. And if you get local honey, it can really help you fight allergies, environmental allergies. So a lot of allergists will say, get some local honey and have a little bit of it in your tea, or just eat it. every day. And what you'll find is you'll have less allergies during the allergy season.
Exactly.
So, but if you're doing any more than a teaspoon in your tea or coffee, it's too much.
Jen says she's pre-diabetic. They found out through her thyroid cancer that she had. She's still in remission, but she had thyroid cancer, and that's when they said that she was pre-diabetic.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she really has to stay away. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to. That's Jen. Was that Jen?
Jen Barry from Allentown, PA.
Yeah. Jen, you gotta stay away from the sugar. You're doing yourself a huge service by staying away from the sugar. And there's lots of alternatives. Like you can have snacks and things that may be sweetened with stevia or sweetened with monk fruit. And they're good. You just have to change your palate. You just have to get used to it. Just, make yourself try them and get used to that flavor. And before you know it, you'll like it. Because the more sugar you eat, the more you're going to crave it. That's how the body works.
What about garlic and turmeric and these other things we're hearing that are really, really good for your health and for possibly, lowering the cholesterol or at least helping with that plaque buildup? If somebody has some plaque building up, even if it's just minor, are there things that they can actually do and eat, you think, that can help dissolve or get rid of any plaque that might be there, even if it's just the slightest amount, like it's the beginning stage of it?
Well, changing your diet overall, number one, is going to help with that. And really the thing they should be concerned about is the inflammation. And garlic and turmeric, or some people say turmeric,
Yeah.
they're both correct. Those things are really important. They're really great as anti-inflammatories and also for the immune system. That's a whole separate thing, but you're kind of getting a double whammy. Unfortunately for me, I have an allergy to garlic, and I'm Italian, imagine.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can't even have garlic, but I do a lot of other things. I use turmeric and some other stuff, but it's really the inflammation you need to worry about. There isn't something that's going to dissolve it, but if you lower the inflammation, you're less likely to have that clump sort of break off and cause a problem, but really the sugar, it starts with the sugar. So you got to stop with the sugar.
So the sugar is really the culprit.
That's really the culprit. It is. Yeah. Especially if you're pre-diabetic. Yeah.
Which Jen said she is. Yeah. And there's a really good test. I'm not diabetic or pre, but I've had the tests just for the heck of it, to check. The glucose intolerance test is so good because you are there for like 3 hours and you're drinking this fluid, and then they're checking your blood, and then you drink the fluid again. You wait an hour, they check it again to see, if there's any spikes and how quick your level comes down or not, or if it stays high. That's a really, really good test to have. And then, of course, like cancer too, and Alzheimer's, other things. More and more, it seems, things are linked to sugar. Corn too, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. That you see high fructose corn syrup in so many things, right?
Yeah. And, it's funny because when I work with people on their diets, they'll say, well, what about ketchup and mustard and barbecue sauce? And I said, I'm going to have you do some homework. Go run to your fridge and take out the barbecue sauce and the ketchup and tell me what's in it. And most of them have sugar in them. And you wouldn't even think that, but they absolutely do. A lot of things have sugar in them that you don't realize that do. And also where the sugar is in the ingredient list. I don't know if you all know this, but whatever the first ingredient is, that's what it has the most of. Yes. And as you go down the list, the very last ingredient has the smallest amount of that thing in it. So if high fructose corn syrup, sugar, brown sugar, if any of that is at the top, don't even eat it. Just don't even buy it.
Don't even buy it at all.
Yeah, it's the worst.
So when you want to splurge a little bit and you want to have something, what are your go-to things that you have? I mean, do you do smoothies and all of that as well? What are some of the things you do What does the expert Gina do? That's what everybody wants to know.
Well, I do love protein shakes, but I really make them taste good. And I like them because you can get those 4 categories that I told you about in the beginning of the show. If you can put all 4 of those things in a shake and you're done for that meal. And if you're really busy like I am, it's really convenient to be able to do that. So for example, I'll use a good whey protein powder, or if you're a vegan, you can use pea protein. I use a vanilla as a base of that protein powder. I usually make it with water, but you can make it with almond milk or rice milk or even whole milk if you want. And then add kale or spinach. And your shake isn't going to taste like a kale or spinach shake. You're just putting a handful of greens in, or even microgreens, which I always joke looks like something I pulled out of my backyard.
So for those watching who aren't sure what that is, what is a microgreen?
Microgreens look like sprouts. If you know what sprouts look like, they sort of look like that, but they're like little plants. And they sell them at the grocery store, like in a plastic package, and you just buy it and you just pull some out, throw it in your shake. But you can use spinach or kale or any vegetable for that matter. Spinach and kale, the dark green ones, are more nutrient dense. So those are the best ones to use. And then add some strawberries or raspberries or even some orange into that vanilla shake, and it'll taste like a creamsicle. And then for the fat, okay, so we got the protein, which is the powder. We've got the vegetable, which let's say spinach and kale. The carbohydrate we're going to add is going to be fruit. Okay, so berries or apple or orange. And then the last thing you're going to add is a fat. So a lot of people like to add a slice of avocado, or you can add olive oil, or you could even put in some flax seed or chia seeds, because those are also in the fat category. Nuts and seeds are in the fat category. So you can add some of those and you won't even taste that part of it. You're going to taste the vanilla and you're going to taste the fruit that you put in. So pick something that you like, or even half a banana. And you've got everything you need right in that shake. And it's so easy. Honestly, I could live off of shakes, but
you can,
you got to eat real food too.
You got to have the real food too. Jane, who's watching live in Sweden, one of our regular Levity viewers, I have had gastric ulcers since November 2020. Get pain every time I eat. So I have almost lost interest in eating, so I don't get the pain. So now she's in a dilemma of, she wants to eat, but when she eats, she gets, because of the ulcer, she gets pain. Is it because of what she's eating? Is it acidic stuff that's triggering that, you think? Or she's losing total interest in eating, and that could be problematic too.
Oh, Jane. Well, I'm not a doctor, so I have to be careful what I say, but I would first look at what caused the ulcer. Because for a lot of people, it's something that they didn't think of. Like, it wasn't necessarily food, but it was maybe they were taking aspirin too much. Like, I had a client who was taking Excedrin every single day for headaches for years.
Yeah, right.
And developed an ulcer because of it. So you have to find out what caused the ulcer. And if it was indeed foods, you probably have too much acid in your diet. And
stress too, right? Comes into play.
Completely.
Big time. It's hard to get away from that, right?
So Jane, I think there's a word in Swedish, it's sluta. I think that means stop. You got to stop eating the things that are causing the problem, or taking the things like if it was aspirin or something like that was causing the ulcer in the first place. Now, I just want to say one thing about this alkaline movement, because a lot of people are talking about, oh, your body should be alkaline. You need to drink alkaline water and eat alkaline foods. There is a problem with that. In our stomach, we need it to be acidic. Why? Because you need to be able to digest food.
Right, get everything down, right?
The acid is what digests the food. So if people are going too alkaline, they're not going to digest their foods properly, and that's going to be a problem too. So something for you guys to research and look into is making sure you do have acidity in your body to some extent.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Jen in Pennsylvania, she says, my heritage food, that's going to be hard to change. I'm Italian, Irish, Scottish, English. How do I curve all that? So she eats according to her heritage and culture, the Italian foods, all the different things that she's used to. So her body, she feels, is conditioned to that. But what would you suggest?
Well, it's really interesting because I live in the melting pot out here in LA. It's kind of reminds me of old school like Philly and New York, where you would have pods of like the Irish neighborhood and the Italian
Right.
neighborhood and this neighborhood. Well, it's kind of that way here, but we have so many more people that live here. So there's a huge Armenian group out here. There's a lot of our people from Armenia. There's a lot of people from the Middle East. So we have all kinds of food out here. And sometimes when I get a client that has a background in that ethnicity, we have to really take a look at what they're eating and take the best things out of that culture. Okay. So for instance, if you're Italian, that's an easy one for me because I'm Italian. Um, when I was growing up, pasta would be the main dish. Okay. Well, when you're a kid and you're super active, that's not a problem. But if you're a postmenopausal woman, that's a big problem
It's a whole other
because
thing.
it's far too many carbs. And not just women, but men too. Like after the age of 40, let's face it, your metabolism slows down. And what you used to eat is making you fat now. So what you do is make the pasta a side dish and make it a little side dish. And here's another tip I want to give you. And I actually do this in my house. And my family loves it. My son Gunnar and my husband Kevin, they really appreciate it. We changed our dishes, so we use the small ones. So instead of using a big plate,
big bowl, big dish.
well, yes, because if
Yeah.
you grab a big bowl and you pour cereal, which cereal's on my no-no list, but
All cereal or just a certain like
well, if you're
oatmeal?
oatmeal's okay if you're now remember we have to have those 4 categories. So what I do with oatmeal is I'll make steel cut oatmeal with water. Now you could use a little almond milk if you want to do that. Keep it to half a cup cooked, 3/4 of a cup for a guy, half a cup cooked for a girl, 3/4 cup for a guy cooked. And then add into it some collagen peptides, a powder, the Vital Proteins collagen peptides. It has protein in it. So mix that into it. Now you've got protein, carbs, and then on the side, you can have some fat. Like you could have 2 teaspoons of peanut butter, a tablespoon of peanut butter, kind of on the side, and just eat that.
Is it a
And then,
certain kind of peanut butter?
well, the best kind is to grind the peanuts yourself, like at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. Some Trader Joe's, they let you do that. So it's pure peanut butter. I know all of us were raised on Skippy and Jif pretty much, Which one are you, Jim? Are you Skippy or Jif? Which one were you raised on?
I was raised on Skippy, but we have Jif in the cabinet.
Isn't that so funny? See, I was raised on Skippy, and that's one of my foods that I love.
Peanut butter.
But yes, but you know what? If you look at it, it's got sugar in it.
And what about the fat that's in it? Is that a bad fat?
No, that's okay. So the peanut butter, it would be counted as your fat for that meal.
Right.
So, and now here's the hard part. How do I get vegetables when I'm eating oatmeal for breakfast with peanut butter as my fat and Vital Proteins in the oatmeal? So there's your protein.
Yeah.
But now I have to eat a salad. Like that's so weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I usually do is have people eat the oatmeal with the protein and the fat, the peanut butter. And then after they're done eating that, have a little side of like sliced cucumber or sliced tomato or something that you really like that you can just eat by itself. Some people like to just bite into an orange bell pepper, or have some of those cherry tomatoes or something. And that's kind of a quick way you can get your vegetable in without it actually being in the meal.
I bet there's probably no bread on your list or certain kinds.
Certain kinds. I'm a big believer if someone has, in the beginning of the whole gluten movement, the gluten-free movement, I have to be 100% honest and transparent about this. I thought it was a bunch of nonsense. But then as I really did a deep dive into it and then tried taking gluten out of my diet, I saw some tremendous results. I saw that people were losing weight easier, their inflammation was going down, and they actually felt better. So now I really encourage, especially women, to take the gluten out of their diets. And we're so lucky now because we have so many foods at our disposal that are gluten-free. Most every grocery store Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. Out here we have Ralph's and Pavilions, and there's Albertsons and Piggly Wiggly, whatever is in your neighborhood. They all have gluten-free aisles. You can get anything gluten-free now.
Yeah.
It's
We have
sauce.
a lot of Trader Joe's in this area here. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of gluten-free stuff at Trader. I love Trader Joe's. They have the best here. They have the best produce. Like their berries or strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries are incredible. Really, really fresh and good.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. So what about the alternative stuff? Like when you see there's cheeses out there that I had always heard that you want to stay away from anything. And it was a craze, decades ago, and probably still is a little bit, but fat free.
Yeah.
If you have a choice, say, for example, you're at the store and you want to get feta cheese, and sometimes I will put a little feta in my salad. I do love cheese. Cheese, I just absolutely love. Like the peanut butter, the potato, cheese, and peanut butter, not all together, are on my list of things that I do love. So that would be rough. But so I'm always looking for different ways to have the cheese, but not have it be, the stuff that's going to clog everything up. But so if you're in the store and there's this one canister that's feta cheese that's fat free, and another one that's, full on, but then this third one that's low fat or lighter, is that the one you think to go with?
Oh, this is such a great question. And I'm glad you're so full of good questions, Jim.
Right, thank you.
And by the way, thank you, Jane, for saying that I said it correct in Swedish, sluta.
Yes.
Thank you. It's the only word I know in
you
Swedish.
You may have some Swedish in you.
Well, I think Kevin's Sizemore is Norwegian, actually. I know the Norwegians and the Swedes
Scandinavian.
They still don't like each other. I know that. But yeah, I think he's Norwegian. But I lost. Okay, so low fat, whole fat, or non-fat. Okay, great question. I'm gonna put this to rest right now for you. Okay, you should go for the whole fat cheese, the full fat, but keep it in your fat column. Okay. Protein, carbs, vegetables, and fat. In your fat column is cheese. Now, there's a little bit of protein in cheese, but not enough to make it worthy of being in the protein column. Okay? Because with cheese, you only need to use a small amount. Yeah. So now, if you're going to use a lot of cheese, like if you're making let's say a personal size pizza, and you're like, wow, I'm going to be using like half a pound of cheese on here. Okay, like shredded cheese or something.
And then the tomato sauce that's very sugary and
yeah, but go with the cheese that's low fat or non-fat if you're going to use a lot of it. If you're going to use a little bit of it, go with the full fat and really enjoy it. I love feta cheese. I love goat cheese. And by the way, goat cheese is great for people
goat cheese is delicious. I love goat cheese. Yeah.
Like with people that are lactose intolerant, they usually do not have a problem with goat cheese or goat milk. So you can definitely use the full fat if you're using like 2 tablespoons of it, like heaping tablespoons of it. But again, if you're using a lot of it, go with low fat or non-fat.
What about alcohol?
That's another always tricky the question, right? I have an answer for you. Okay. Alcohol has almost as many calories as fat does per serving. Okay. So a gram of fat is 9 calories. Like if you weighed a gram of fat, like olives or olive oil or something like that, alcohol has 7. Okay. So that's almost as much. Now proteins and carbs only have 4 calories per gram. That's why we can eat a little more of those and not get fat. So with the alcohol, you have to treat it like in that fat column, you should only have small amounts of it. What kind of alcohol is the best? Spirits, like vodka, gin, whiskey, tequila, but having like 1 shot at a time.
Jen, did you hear that in Allentown with the Jameson?
Go for it. I know she can keep her Jameson just so long as you're not drinking like a big glass of it.
Yeah, it's not an all day thing. It's just that 1 shot per day.
Right.
Yes, you don't have it with the eggs and bacon in the morning, Jen.
But it might be 5 o'clock in Sweden too, so we don't know. So Jane and Jen can drink at the same time.
Jane and Jen can drink.
But the spirits, like, because I have people, some of the celebrities, they love their alcohol, but I've
Yeah.
switched them away from wine but I
And that's
haven't
the
had
one that people think is always so good
the
because
better
it's
one,
lighter.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the problem with wine. Not only does it have alcohol, it has a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah.
So you're getting a double whammy. Okay. So the best thing to do is to have the spirits, like 1 to 2 shots per, when you're going to drink, but no more than that. And then if you're going to have wine, I have another answer for you.
Ooh.
There's a place now. There's more places popping up now, but my favorite place that I send people to for wine is Dry Farms. Dry Farms wine makes a 0 sugar wine, and
Mm.
they also make one that's low alcohol. And so you figure, well, why would I want it then if it's no sugar and no low alcohol, right? Well, because you like the social aspect of drinking wine. You want to have wine if the rest of your friends and family are having it, like if it's at a
Right.
gathering. Well, you can get Dry Farm wines and not have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about the calories, the sugar, and the alcohol.
Right.
So it's really an excellent choice. And by the way, it tastes fantastic.
Mm.
It's really, they have all different ones.
Love to
It's
try that one
seasonal.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a wine drinker, check out Dry Farm Wines. I do not own stock in the company. I'm not an owner, but it's been a tremendous help with my clients over the years.
What if somebody has not had their blood sugar checked, their cholesterol checked, and things of that nature in years? It really behooves them to have those things checked, right?
I'm so glad you brought this up, Jim, because, okay, I'm known as, I don't want to say the word because, well, can I say whatever I want?
Is it prevention, like preventative? You're a preventative person.
No. Okay, maybe I won't say it.
You're
Let's just say
enthusiastic and
I'm
passionate.
enthusiastic
Yes.
about
About.
getting blood work done. Okay. So okay, y'all are going to laugh at me, but I don't care because I like to stay in front of everything because
Yeah.
I don't know
Me
if you
too.
know this and I'm proud to say it, but in November, I'm going to turn 60. Okay.
No way.
I know. And I don't feel it.
Say wow.
I hope I don't look it, but I certainly don't feel it. I have tons of energy. My blood work is pristine. And it's because I stay ahead of it all the time. So every 3, maybe 6 months at the most, I get like a complete blood panel with a cholesterol and lipid panel, which is, all the markers for heart disease. I do thyroid, I do hormones, and then I do some extra stuff that there's markers for different, like for cancer and inflammation. There's a marker. If any of you are thinking about getting blood work done, ask your doctor to get CRP, C as in Charlie, R as in Robert, P as in Paul, a CRP marker test that measures inflammation for heart disease. And if you want to get really serious about it, you can ask for a HSCRP, which is high sensitivity CRP. And if you want, you can check out my podcast, Health Interrupted. And we interviewed a cardiac surgeon here at UCLA here in LA who talks about this very thing and about getting blood work done. And how if you get these markers checked every 3 to 6 months, you'll be able to stay ahead of the game for heart disease and many, many other things, diabetes. You should get your A1C checked for diabetes. That's the marker for that. It should be around 5. If it's 6 or above, you're in trouble. You're pre-diabetic, or you might even have diabetes. So absolutely get blood work done. And I'm so glad you brought that up.
It's really important, isn't it?
Really
I mean,
important. When was the last time you had yours done?
3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like you, very preventive. Physicians love me because I volunteer for stuff. I'm like, I want to go for this. Send me for that. I want to go for that. I did the calcium scoring test, which is fantastic. Comes back 0.
Great.
But then they also say, if you want to also have another preventative heads up, is to be very cognizant of and aware of your family history, your heredity, parents, grandparents, other family members, maybe siblings, and maybe things that they have or have had. It's very important because a lot of times people will go to the doctor and they don't have any idea of anything that their parents may have had, or their grandparents or aunts and uncles, blood relatives. And that is vital information, because some of what, if not a good deal of a lot of this, is passed down too. So we have these markers, these genes. I for the one of the day jobs, the television news, we were in Calabasas, actually, at this wonderful cancer treatment center. And what they do is they do their cancer treatment based on the genetic makeup of the person, and they're able to treat that way, which makes a world of difference. And knowing your genetic makeup and knowing maybe some things that might already be set up for that you can sort of counteract or be aggressive about is crucial, isn't it?
Again, excellent point. In fact, in the questionnaire that I do with every client before I ever start working with them, I do an entire family history on them. And if they have blood work, I have them send it to me and I look at that as well. And then if I need to refer them out to somebody, to a physician, I refer them out before I start working with them. But their family history is so, so, so important. And if anyone out there has gotten like 23andMe or Ancestry.com, they have a health thing that they can do based on your ethnicity and your family history, your descendants. So like if you're from Italy, or if you're from Sweden or Norway or Poland or Russia, a lot of diseases are genetic and cultural. So like my mother, in fact, had a very rare blood disease, and we're Italian. If you did 23andMe, well, I don't even have to bother doing 23andMe because we are Italian all the way back to the beginning of time. So she had a very rare blood disease called sideroblastic anemia that was very specific to Mediterranean women. So people from Italy, basically. So that was a really important part of them figuring out what was wrong with her, was what her background was and her family history. But if I get a client that has a father that had a heart attack, a mother that has diabetes, high cholesterol, and is on blood pressure medication, grandparents that both died from heart disease, if I see all that and I see that common thread, I will immediately send them to a cardiologist or to their physician, their primary care, and say, you need to get a physical. You probably need to get a stress test where they check your heart and do an EKG.
Nuclear stress test and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do all that before you come and work with me, because that is really crucial. And I hope everybody goes and does that because it's worth it. And I hope everybody has good insurance.
Yeah, that's key too.
Right?
Now, what if they, what if that's what they have? What if their parents or grandparents, whatever, have all dealt with that? They've either had heart attacks or heart disease, or maybe even passed of those things. They themselves might be in good shape and they eat well and watch what their diet, they exercise, they try to do the right thing, but their parents and their grandparents have had those serious situations. You think that person has to do due diligence, be extra aggressive because the cards are sort of set up anyway?
It's a really excellent question. And the answer to that is you have to find out what caused the heart attack. Because see, like my parents'
Like
generation,
smoking
yeah,
or
and their parents' generation, basically it was environmental, meaning they caused it to them. They did it to themselves. They
yeah,
smoked. A lot of
smoked.
people smoked, and my
It was
parents'
all part of the
doctors
social,
smoked.
the smoke, right? The
Yeah.
nurses, the
Like
doctors.
I remember
Yeah.
my parent going to the doctor with my mom one time, and the doctor had a pack of cigarettes in his lab coat pocket. And I'm thinking, as a kid, I'm like, what?
I saw
That's
somebody
insane.
smoking and they were wearing the patch that's for stopping smoking. Or you see like an oxygen mask and they take the mask off, take a puff and put the
No.
mask back on.
Oh my
I've
God. Plus,
seen people do that.
you can't, it's highly flammable. You can't even be near oxygen and a cigarette. It's like being near a gas station and smoking.
The addiction is so
But
strong, I guess.
yeah, but they got to figure out what caused the disease or the death in some cases of that person and not do those things. So obviously you don't smoke, do not drink too much. Moderation is okay, but it's better if you just don't, because there's really nothing good about alcohol. There is nothing good to your body that alcohol does for you. Zero. Now, people might argue, well, doesn't red wine have resveratrol, and that's really good for
We're hearing
all
about that a
that?
lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you can take resveratrol in a capsule. You don't have to drink alcohol to get it. And
I
by the
do
way,
CoQ10. Is that good?
CoQ10 is
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
In fact, for people that have heart problems, high cholesterol, heart disease, or high blood pressure, CoQ10 is usually one of the supplements that they're required to take or asked to take by their doctor.
And a daily aspirin, a light, small little aspirin.
That's okay for a lot of people, but some people can't take aspirin. So you really have to ask about that. But a baby aspirin is actually really great to prevent. And this, I'm not the doctor, but I'm just saying we had a physician, a cardiologist on the podcast, and he said that very thing. So yeah, baby aspirin is good. Sometimes I heard when people are in the middle of a heart attack, taking baby aspirin can help.
I've heard that
Or if
too.
they
Yeah.
think they're having a heart attack, like if they're calling 911, in some, they could take baby aspirin.
You know what's scary sometimes is when you see people who seem to be, or at least appear to be, the picture of health, and then like a Luke Perry with the stroke. He always seemed to be so fit and healthy and everything else, but obviously things were going on inside that maybe he wasn't aware of. And then a stroke came along at a relatively young age. That's sort of scary when when somebody passes, the first thing I always ask is, were they overweight and what was their age?
I
Because how
know.
old were they? And then you hear they were 29 and you're like, what?
I know, it's so crazy. And that hit hard in Hollywood here because he doesn't live, didn't live too far from me. And, we have a lot of our neighbors and things are, like celebrities and actors and stuff, directors, writers, producers. And when, it really rings loud when somebody dies young. And let's face it, we sometimes don't know when these things are going to happen. Sadly, we had a teenager from our high school, from my son's high
Yeah.
school, just pass away. But, he was on anti-anxiety and antidepressants, and he was drinking those energy drinks, which I
Oh,
totally
yeah.
do not like. And
Yeah.
I do not recommend anybody drinks those energy drinks because it was way too much for him. And the two things together caused him to die in his sleep. And that's what the coroner said.
Mm.
So it's just awful.
There's a news anchor in Connecticut with the CBS station that was with the station for 38 years, I think, something like that, 33 years. And her name was Denise DeCenzo. You can actually, if you Google that, you'll see it come right up because it was a major story. As a matter of fact, one of her great friends was Gayle King from CBS Morning News, because Gayle King worked at the CBS affiliate in Hartford, Connecticut. So they worked together a long time. And Mika Brzezinski also worked there. And she commented on her show on MSNBC about the death of Denise DeCenzo.
Mm-hmm.
Picture of Health, for the TV station, for their Eyewitness News, did health segments, healthy heart segments, interviewed doctors for the newscast. Picture of Health, I mean, always just looked like $1,000,000, warm, loving, warm person. People took it really, really hard.
Yeah.
She, I knew her and her husband intimately. And what he had said was she was on a Saturday. She was off. She felt a little indigestion. She took a Tums, went upstairs, lied down, and she passed away in the bed. He went to check on her, a couple hours later because she was napping, and 63 years old, and she was gone instantly with no anything beforehand indicating anything. But she took the Tums, and that's the thing that's a little iffy, because I know people personally who have done that. They get a little indigestion, they take the antacid or the Tums, and it actually sort of quells whatever that is. But then it turned out that it was a heart attack that was happening. That can be so confusing between what's happening with the heart and the indigestion too. You could, overdiagnose yourself and run to the hospital when it is indigestion, or you could play off that it's indigestion and what you're having is an actual heart attack, huh?
Yeah, I don't have an answer for. I know that happens a lot, and it happened to a good friend of ours, Meadowlark Lemon, who was one of the Harlem Globetrotters. He was the face of the
Oh,
Harlem
he
Globetrotters.
was the best.
He was a dear friend of ours, and he was 80, and he was Kevin. It's the second time I ever saw Kevin cry. It was when our son was born and when Meadowlark Lemon died, because they were so close, and they were just about to do the Kevin's doing the documentary on him and
Oh,
a
that's
film on
wonderful.
his life.
I want to see
Yeah,
that.
and it's
Yeah.
amazing. But we call it the kiss of God. It was a Sunday. He was reading his Bible. He told his wife he was gonna just take a nap, and then they were gonna have dinner. And he just went in his sleep. And it's really the loveliest way to go, but super sad for everybody that's still living, of
Family and
course.
yeah.
But I think there's something to that point of the calcium, like the antacids. And I don't know what that is. That'd be a good question for our cardiologist. But
Yeah. Why
you know,
that sort of does that. Yeah. Sort of
yeah,
quells it a little bit.
so
Questioning came
sad.
in from, let's see. Merlin says she takes a baby aspirin every morning. Let's see what else here. Jen's asking what is better, Advil or Tylenol? She has severe back scoliosis, forever back pain. So I guess she was instructed to take either or. Is there one that's better or?
Yeah, well, they're two different things for,
They really are.
yeah, doctors will tell you that Advil is an anti-inflammatory and it gives you a little pain relief because it lowers inflammation, but Tylenol is strictly a pain reliever. So a lot of times when people have chronic pain, it's not the Tylenol doesn't really work well, and this is when people start taking opioids and then they get hooked on those, but they're not good pain relievers, because they're not anti-inflammatories is what I'm saying. So Advil is the anti-inflammatory, Tylenol is the pain reliever. Some doctors will tell you to put them together. That way you get both. You get the anti-inflammatory and the Tylenol and the pain reliever together. So, but that's a doctor question.
Yeah.
But those are the basics about Advil and Tylenol. Advil is ibuprofen, anti-inflammatory. Tylenol is pain reliever only. It's not an anti-inflammatory.
Right, exactly. And sometimes people get that confused.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never too early, like for a kid, to start thinking about a healthy diet. And it's never a diet, exercise, healthy lifestyle overall. And it's never too late. If somebody's watching this right now
Mm-hmm.
and they are 85, it's not, oh, well, I've lived my life and that's it. You can still do it at any age, right? Never too early, never too late.
Yes. And there's a lot of things that can be reversible. If you cut that sugar out of your diet. Now, if someone's is doing everything like raw, if they're smoking a lot, drinking a lot, eating processed foods a lot, eating a high fat diet a lot,
Overweight.
Not exercising. Yeah. Overweight. Now, even for those people, there's still something that you can do. You can stop doing all those things and take your time doing it. Don't try to do everything overnight. Drop one thing out, 1 month, drop another thing out the next month. Start walking. That's I love walking. I think everybody should do it.
We do it a lot along the shoreline, the coast here, and it's fantastic.
It's so great.
Cycling and also swimming. I love those too.
You just named the top 3 best things.
High five.
You really did. High five. Excellent. Because they're not stressful on your joints and you get the best result from it. And they're things that most people can do. Everybody can walk, unless there's some medical reason why you can't. But that's something you can do any time of day, anywhere you are. Growing up in Philadelphia, we had so much snow, yet we still walked to the store and back.
Yeah. Right.
Trudging through the snow. And that was really good exercise. I'm going to tell you a funny story about Kevin, because talking about I always encourage people to get 10 to 15,000 steps a day
Mm-hmm.
for health and for weight loss and just for overall fitness. So, I wear an iWatch. I don't know if you guys have an iWatch or a Fitbit or some kind of thing that tracks your steps. Even your phone, whether you have an Android or an iPhone, it will track your steps if you have it on you. So Kevin and I always try to get around 14,000 steps a day, and we take our dog for long walks, and the poor dog is looking at us like, when is this going to be over? Because she's really small. But we love it, and it's really healthy, right? Well, he's in Atlanta, and he was bored, so we went to the movies the other night. This is actually last night. And when he went to the theater, he realized there was no one else in the theater. Okay, so he decided while he was watching the movie to walk in between the rows of seats and then up and down the stairs through the entire movie. And he wound up getting all his steps in for the whole day. I just think that is such dedication. It's just amazing. He killed two birds with one stone. He got to watch the movie by himself because no one was in there, and he got his steps in. So that was just great. I just love that story. I was really proud of him.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anybody just joining us, our special guest is Gina Lombardi, health expert and co-host of Health Interrupted podcast. She has her book as well. She's an author, celebrity personal trainer, and she is generously and graciously my guest, and also giving us some wonderful tips and things we can do to attain that healthy lifestyle. Yeah, show us that book again. Congratulations.
Aw, thanks. I wrote this book mostly at 4:00 in the morning when my son was like 2 years old or 3 years old. And I always knew when he was up in the morning, like around 7, because I'd see a little Hot Wheels car roll underneath my door. And that was his little way.
He's a kid after my heart. I still have all my Matchbox and Hot Wheels from childhood. I still have them. I'm coming over to play.
Oh, it's the best. And he would roll it because he knew mommy was working, right? So he didn't want to disturb me, but he would roll his car under to say, hey, mom, I'm awake now. So anytime you want to stop working, you can come out.
That's cute.
He's 16 now.
Does he still do it?
Oh, I wish. Now he just barges in and says, Mom, I'm hungry.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
No, he's a great kid. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah. Merlin in Ontario, Canada says, I can't walk much anymore, but I could do sit-ups and bend over, but too lazy.
Oh, Marilyn, you're not alone.
Merlin's a straight shooter.
Hey, I love just tell it like it is, girl.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry that you can't walk much anymore, but what you could do is you could get one of those recumbent bikes where you sit and you're sitting like back, so you're pedaling in front of you like this. Because I know sitting up on a bike is really hard for some people.
Yeah.
So this way, it's a big seat, so it's comfortable, and even has armrests, and you just pedal in front of you. If you can't, like if someone cannot afford that kind of a bike, because they're anywhere from $300 to $3,000, depending on how fancy it is. Like if you want a TV screen on it
and all.
Yeah. But you don't have to get fancy with it. But there's also like a little device. And I saw it actually, my neighbor who just turned 80, he showed me an ad for it in a newspaper of all things. Who reads a newspaper anymore? But it was
God bless him, right?
Yeah, God bless him. He still gets it delivered. I can't believe they're even delivering it. But you put it on the floor in front of you, and it looks like 2 pedals, and you just push it while you're watching TV.
Yeah, right.
It's fantastic because it's getting your circulation going. You're burning calories, and then you could get some little 1-pound weights or maybe 2-pound weights and just do some arm exercises, like this, bicep curls, some tricep extensions. Just, move around your upper body, do pulls like this with dumbbells in your hands to work your back. And that way you can just get the blood circulating and burn some extra calories while you're sitting. So I love that thing where you push the pedals, though. I think that's fantastic.
That is really great. Whatever you can really do going up and down the stairs. There's just so many things daily, even inside your house, that we don't even think about, but it's the sitting, I've always said, gee, it seems almost backwards, but we can understand why. You would think, and I was just saying this, I was going, doing a couple of mile walk with a friend along the shoreline the other day. And I'm like, it does seem backwards, doesn't it? Even though we know that you would think that sitting idle on the couch, de-amping, de-stressed, watching a situation comedy, just relaxing, not ramping up the body, not getting everything all going, that would be like advantageous because you're not pushing yourself. You're just at rest. You're sitting there. You would think that would be the ultimate scenario, but it's actually quite the opposite. If you do just sit there.
Well, you're not totally wrong, Jim.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. And I'll tell you why.
all right. Couch potatoes. Listen
okay.
up.
Everybody listen up. But not for the couch potatoes, but
Yeah, no, because that's a severe.
here's when that's okay. Okay. And that is good if you do that. And I do it too sometimes. Kevin and I love a good movie. We love a good comedy show. It's only good if your lifestyle is active. So if the rest of your day is not doing that, then you've earned that. Does that make sense?
If you're just doing that,
no bueno.
Then
no good. Yeah. So, for me, I'm constantly moving. I'm doing training sessions all day, and I'm doing a lot of the workouts with my clients. Even when during pandemic, I've been doing them on Zoom or on FaceTime. I'm still doing the workouts with them. Plus, Kevin and I walk for 2 hours when we're together in the same city.
Yeah.
So, or I always walk my dog too. So,
which is
there's
great.
that. Yeah. So if you're active, then absolutely you deserve to sit there for 2 hours and watch a movie or watch TV or play a board game with your kids or whatever. But you have to earn it. You really have to earn it.
Like Juanita in South Africa says, and they call them crisps. Problem is sitting on the couch, you need some crisps.
Wait, what's crisps? Is that chips?
It's like chips. Yeah, it's like crisps would be like yeah, and actually in England, I believe, because she's in South Africa, which has obviously a very British feel to it as well, and influence. Crisps, they say in England as well. It's like chips. It's
it's like French fries in Europe are called frites.
Yes, and in the Netherlands, they have mayonnaise with them.
Mayonnaise? Oh, it's kind of like here people use ranch dressing.
Oh, in California, ranch? Yeah.
Well, people use, everywhere now, I think. They dip their fries in ranch dressing.
Do you eat French fries ever?
I'm talking about other people.
Yeah.
I do love a good McDonald's French fry every now and then. But to be honest, because there's a McDonald's 1 block from here, which is
that
really
could be
horrible.
tough. That could be tough.
But a good, I can't eat more than, I'm being 100% honest. I can't eat more than 3. I can't eat more than 3 French fries. And
how the heck do you
how do I do that? Because I know what they're made out. Like I know that they're all potato, they're all starch, and they have salt and oil on them. So
and because the fries are this long.
Exactly. We call that a bonus fry.
That's a bonus fry.
That's a bonus fry because that's always the fry that's at the bottom of the bag, and you're like, bonus like fry.
4 foot long, right? Exactly.
Yeah, like how in the world did I not see you earlier? But hey, Jim, can I take a picture?
Sure.
I'm going to take a picture of us together live. Okay. And I'm going to put this on social media. And I just want to say that you're wonderful.
Lovely audience.
Yeah. I've been loving reading. And I want to thank Jen Barry, too, because she said, can we have Gina back? I'm so glad it wasn't like, get her the heck out of here. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. And gosh, just everyone. I'm just looking at the great comments and questions. And
now we should probably mention that you were going to have a colleague and friend with you, but she got called away. We're talking about Miss America 2012. Laura's going to be with us, but and hopefully, we'll have her and you guys back. together, which would be cool. Be nice to chat with her as well. But she got called away literally almost at the last minute, right?
Yeah, pretty
So some people are
suddenly.
asking, is Laura coming on, or are you keeping her hidden in the closet or something? No, no, no.
I know. I'm so
We wouldn't have
sorry,
done that for an
folks.
hour and a half.
No, I'm so sorry, folks, that Laura couldn't make it tonight. She was super sad about that. And in
Yeah.
fact, she texted me and said, "How's it going?" And I said, "Can you jump on right now?" But she's still in the middle of a family situation. So she's so sorry. But I hope you'll have us both back sometime. And I just want to say that
Yeah.
she's amazing. She is my co-host on the Health Interrupted podcast, which is on all of the podcast platforms like, Spotify, iTunes, Audible, iHeartRadio, you name it. It's on all of them. And you could also go to healthinterruptedpodcast.com and you can listen to them there too, if you're not sure how to use the podcast platforms. But we have tons of tips that I could tell by your levities that they want to know stuff. They want to know how to lose weight. They want to know how to fix their back. They want to know how to prevent stroke. You guys are just like thirsty for information, and you're going to find it there because we have people's stories of resilience. They tell us what their health interruptions are, and then at the end of every episode, they give tips in 4 categories. They give tips on nutrition, fitness, mental, spiritual, and beauty. And then every episode we do a call to action. So we give you something that you've got to do at the end of every episode. And it's incredible.
So not just listen, but get out there and take action. Because, I always say that there's so many things you can invest in our world. The best investment you could ever make is in yourself.
It is so true.
Your health, your wellness. And there's also mindset. Mindset comes into a lot of this. I know we're talking about a lot of the physicality, the eating, the exercising, reducing sugar, alcohol, all of that other type of stuff, but also doing things, walking by, the ocean. Like I constantly say that for me, although the ocean is a little angry here on the East Coast today, but for me, the ocean is my Zen place. It's my go-to place. Swimming,
beautiful.
surfing, boogie boarding, sailing, floating in it, watching the sunrise, watching the sunset. That's the Atlantic Ocean there. That's the South Shore of Long Island, New York. I get Zen. I'm in tune with it. I feel the rhythm of it. I feel the life of it. It's just a very cool place for me to be. Find your Zen place. Find the place. I've been saying even through this pandemic, when people have been really expressing their fears and their panic, and go to the things that are the constants in life. Go to the ocean. Watch the sun come up and down. The tide will continue to come in and out. Go to the forest, go out to nature and go to a botanical garden or whatever it is. Things that have been there well before us and will be there well beyond us. So if you feel like the world is coming apart and things that you believed in or things that you thought or things that you grew up with are all gone and disappearing, there's a lot of things around us that are here and here to stay, like the ocean. And go to whatever it is that is your Zen place. Like Jen always say, I say the ocean, and Jen loves the mountains of Pennsylvania. So she's always in the mountains and loves the mountains. That's her Zen place. You got to have that mindset, and you've got to take care of mind, body, and spirit equally, right? To live happy, live fulfilled, have energy. Sometimes we might overemphasize one thing, but we forget about the other things that need some attention as well, right? It's got to be a balance, mind, body, and spirit.
That is so true. And also, I just want to throw in one more thing that people often neglect, that can help them with weight loss and help them with anxiety, depression, is you've got to get 8 solid hours of sleep. You absolutely sleep. They're finding there's more research now on sleep being the cause of so many problems.
I know
that
that's the one thing that I don't get that I should. Like now it's 20 to 10. and it's like when I work in my, day job in television and radio, I'm all ramped up. I'm pumped up. I'm excited. Usually when I'm in a television studio and we're working on a show or something, I'm the one that's like, wait a minute, the crew's going home. They're shutting the lights off, turning the cameras off. And they're like, okay, we're done. And I'm like, wait, we're just getting going. Let's go. So there's a lot of energy and a lot of adrenaline that is there. I'm a very light sleeper too. I'm the one who at 3:30 in the morning can come out of a sleep sensing somebody in the house is sick. Somebody's
really?
I can always, and it turns out somebody's downstairs or wherever, and they're not feeling well or whatever it may be. I hear everything. I can always sense. It's a sixth sense. There's a number of things. We can do a whole other show on it, but a number of experts and people I've interviewed on television, radio, and elsewhere in all of these areas of emotional intelligence, mindset, everything, they've said three major things in regards to me. Operating from a higher consciousness, incredibly intuitive, and a high-level empath. There's multitudes of people that keep saying that without knowing somebody else just said that. It's not like they're all in the same group and they're all saying, this is what we agree. They're all saying this. And I have this sense of knowing when something's not right in the house, when something's, a light is left on, or when a door's not locked, or
that's a gift.
When somebody's ill, I'll be the one that gets up and I can tell, feeling well or whatever. Yeah. The thing is, it's a gift for them, not me, only because I don't
right, because you keep waking up. But I'm the same way.
I don't know if I'm getting the REM, because sometimes I will be a little tired in the daytime. I won't be exhausted where I need to nap, but sometimes I'll be a little tired, but I'm working off all this adrenaline. Now, I have a friend who's younger than I am too, and he falls asleep almost after every meal he's eating now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a blood sugar problem too.
That is, isn't it?
Yeah. He could be like insulin resistant or something.
And he's got a physical job in the day.
Oh, he's exhausted.
And then when he comes home, he said that he eats and right after. Yeah. And he can fall asleep in cars. He can fall asleep, within 2 hours of waking up after 10 hours of sleep. 2 hours later, he can be sleepy again.
Wow.
And I said, that's not
normal.
It's not the norm. And he's only 38.
Oh my gosh. Okay, he needs to see a doctor.
That's
he needs to
what
get
I've
that
said.
checked out.
Yeah. It's probably blood sugar related, right?
But getting back to your, anxiety and being Zen, and there's a lot of really cool meditation apps. In fact, over the pandemic, or when it first started, when we first had lockdown, I even had Kevin and Gunnar sitting outside with me using an app called Brain.fm. And it's just an app you can download. It's really cool. It takes you through a guided meditation, or you can do the ones that are not guided and it's just music. Yeah. And you can set it for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Or some people just like to do their own thing. And I'm also a big believer of getting your bare feet on the earth.
Very much. There's something happens
grounded.
when I'm walking on the beach barefoot in the sand and I'm near the ocean. I can walk. I've walked, we walked, my God, we were in Florida visiting family and we went for a walk on the beach and it ended up, we were in several other towns. We were still on the beach on the East Coast, but we were stopping by like, where are we now? Where are we now? And people were telling us, you're in this town now, because when you're on the beach, everything looks the same because you're walking for miles, right. Especially in Florida, because it's a long situation. And it was like 20 miles or something, they said that we did, and we didn't even realize it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was incredible. It was incredible. And I could have kept going. There was something that I was so in tune with the the energy that I was getting from the sand and from the water and from the fresh air and the bright sunshine. Like when we do visit family in Florida, there really is something about that sun that is so bright, and you don't want to be indoors. You want to be like up here in the Northeast. We're getting ready for sweater weather and hot cocoa, the pumpkin pie, the fall
Right.
stuff, the fall soups and all that, casseroles, stews, Thanksgiving. But when you go down there and you're in the bright sunshine of Florida, you want to be out. I want to be outside all the time and active. And it's amazing. That's another thing too. I mean, there's so many things we talk about, but vitamin D3, vitamin D, I had mine checked 7-8 years ago. And the doctor said, Jim, you're really, really low on your vitamin D. And I'm like, really? Had no idea.
You wouldn't think if you're getting a lot of sun too.
Especially people, up in the north, northern areas where the sun is there, but it's, we go into our fall, winter period. So I do take vitamin D3 supplements and try to get out in the sun as much as possible. There's certain times of the year where the sun isn't there, but that's another essential thing which they've realized and have been promoting lately, is vitamin D, especially D3, right? Bone and everything.
Yeah, and for everything, for the immune system as well. And it's just incredible that like certain doctors will say, oh, well, your D3 is at 30. Okay, like on the blood work. But a lot of doctors out here say that is the bare minimum. Your D3 should be up around 70 to 100. So if someone's at 30, that's like really not good. Like you're barely even at the bottom of the range. So if somebody tells you that you're at 30 and you're fine, I'd probably get someone else's opinion.
I've heard people say that. Yeah. Mine, that was 15. It was 15.
Oh, that's 15. Way too low.
It was 15. So, right, exactly. So then, we took care of that. But Toby is in Encino, California. She's asking, what are your thoughts on biofeedback? Yeah, she's in Encino. She's one of our lovely viewers. Yeah.
You're my neighbor.
In Encino there.
I'm in Encino.
Are you really? Is that what you guys are? She says, what's your thoughts? Yeah, you probably go to the same Trader Joe's, right?
Yes, on Burbank Boulevard, right, Toby?
Burbank Boulevard. Every town has a Burbank Boulevard in California. Matter of fact, I was just in Burbank before COVID. It was awesome.
Wow. And you didn't call us? What kind of friend are you? Come on.
Well, now I know. I'm coming over to eat with you, and we're going to play with your kid, and we're going to do Hot Wheels. I'm going to bring my Matchbox cars.
You would love that.
If my Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels can get through customs, or not customs, but the TSA.
Yeah, right.
Your thoughts on biofeedback? Did you want to first explain what biofeedback is, and do you have any thoughts on it for Toby?
Well, that's not really my area.
That's
something that like I wouldn't like do myself as a practitioner, but it's excellent. It actually? I don't even really know. I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
But I do know that it's great. And I do know that people that I trust and love and that I respect think it's great. So that's all I got on that one. I'm so sorry. You haven't stumped me the whole show, but that's one that I'm not too sure about.
Yeah.
Sorry, Toby.
Toby goes, let's have lunch. I was there today. $2 chuck went up to $2.99.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Toby, you find me on Instagram and we'll message each other.
That's it. Huh?
By the way, I'm at Coach Lombardi on Instagram. So
I've got 60% boneless by Forza Max. Scares the crap out of me.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Explain that, Toby.
Oh, speaking of that, bone broth. I keep hearing that's very good for you.
Bone broth is fantastic. And if you can make it yourself, get a good recipe. It is so nutritious. It has protein in it.
How does it help? What is it?
Sip it all day. Oh, it's it's got protein in it, which is great because you always want to have, listen, don't ever eat carbs by themselves. That's a good way to gain weight.
Like just
Okay.
pieces of bread or
Yeah, or
potatoes by
like
themselves or
chips or
pasta.
potatoes or pasta. Eating carbs alone it'll get stored as fat. So if you want to eat your carbs with a protein, preferably, and with a fat. Okay, remember the four things I told you earlier.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have the bone broth, you could throw some chicken, like a piece of maybe some white meat chicken that's cooked, throw that in there and just sip it, eat the chicken. It's like a soup. Bone broth has, has calcium, has vitamin D, it's got protein. It's really like a superfood. I love it. And you can buy it off the shelf, but I've
I've seen
tried.
boxes of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the boxes of bone broth. Personally, I don't think any of those taste good. So I order it from a place in Venice, California called Owl Venice, OWL Venice. And it's owlvenice.com, I believe. Yeah. And they will ship it to you, but they have a lavender chicken elixir bone broth that is amazing. And
So a
it's
lavender
delicious.
elixir chicken bone broth.
Yeah. And they even have a vegan one too. And then they have a beef one and a bunch of other ones too. You can see what they have, but
Do
it's
you do
just so
beef?
good. I do. Well, mostly I do bison because
That's good for
bison,
you. Yeah.
ground bison tastes like hamburger meat, but it does not raise your cholesterol like beef does. And so just by using that over the last year, because you know how often I get blood work done, my blood work went down 40 points and I didn't change anything else.
That's amazing.
Because I love a good hamburger. But now my whole family, we only have bison and they love it.
So what about so that's terrific. I mean, what about those things like protein patties and all those things you see?
You mean like the Impossible Burger that's vegan?
Like those kinds of things. You see all these different protein patties that are shaped and look like a hamburger, but they're like protein patties. They're not, they're like the Impossible and some of these others. There's so many, it can be confusing, right?
Yeah. What you have to watch, and even with the Impossible Burger, is believe it or not, they're really high in carbs. Like veggie burgers, they have very little protein, or they might have protein, but they're also really high in carbohydrates. So you got to weigh out. Like if you have a burger that's 40 grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein, well, don't have a sweet potato with that because you just got all
Mm,
your carbs inside the burger,
you just, yeah.
right? So you have to account for all those
And then
different
if you have it on a
things.
bun,
That's way too many. That's too much.
that's, that's,
Yeah,
you're going to get this from Gina. That's way too many. When she starts doing this,
exactly.
put it down.
Exactly. Right. Right. Get rid of
That's
it.
funny. Why do you love doing this? Why do you love doing what you do? Obviously, it brings you great blessing and joy, and you love helping others, and it's very cathartic for you as well, I'm sure. Why does this bring you great blessing and joy, Gina?
I'll give you the one answer to that is when I get a text message from a client that says you changed my life.
Mm,
That is what a long time ago, I had a client who was 70, 80 years old. He was 79, turning 80 when I got him. He had Parkinson's, and his son, who was like in his 40s or 50s, hired me to train him. Now, this man had Parkinson's and he was 80. So you say, is it too late? No, it's never too late. They didn't expect him to live through the year. And
mm.
the son said, no, I just don't believe it. I think he needs a trainer. We just need somebody that can understand him and work with him with his diet and his exercise. Well, he lived to be 86. Okay. And I actually had him hitting tennis balls.
Mm,
Now, with Parkinson's, your balance is really off.
yeah,
Okay. And there's a lot of shaking going on. And it's really the balance that's really bad.
yeah.
But with exercise and diet, we were able to get him to live longer and a better quality of life. And it was so great because at his funeral, his celebration of life, his son stood up and said, if it wasn't for Saul's, my dad's trainer, he wouldn't have been with us this long. That was it for me. I was like, I'm sold. I'm doing this for a long time. And that was almost 30 years ago.
You probably have a
So
lot of stories like that since, huh?
yes, a lot of stories, a lot of stories. And that's what makes me keep going. It really does.
Mm. It's beautiful work that you're doing. I know it's It's something that comes to you naturally. If you weren't doing this, what else interests you? What are some of the other things? If Gina wasn't so immersed in this world of health and wellness, what else does Gina like to do?
I love the movie business. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work with actors, which are most of my clients, actors, writers, directors, because I love the movie business so much that I figured at least if I'm not going to be on front of the camera as an actor, because I'm terrible at it, I'm good
Kevin
at
hasn't
being,
roped you in yet on some like
oh,
an extra or like a
oh yeah, I've been in
yeah.
the background, even on some of my son's short films and stuff, but it's not my calling. I just don't.
You weren't Under the Dome, were you?
Me, no, I wasn't Under the Dome. No, I wasn't on
That was
that
a
show, but
cool one.
Kevin was.
Yeah, I know. That was a
But
cool one on CBS.
he's so good at what he does. And I when we first started dating, he actually got me a commercial agent. He got me to go with his commercial agent. And I went on 2 auditions and I said, oh my gosh, I could never do this job because first of all, it's nerve wracking. And
Yes.
number two, you've got to pretend to be somebody else in front of a camera and there's one person staring at you the whole time while you're auditioning and it's just so I could never do it. And then there's so much rejection. I mean, you never get every job that you audition for, so it's like like going on a job interview every day and not getting the job. It's like so hard. And I have so much respect for people that do it because it's really a tough job. But if I could do something in the movie business, whether it's like to be like a first AD, like an assistant director or a script supervisor or somebody that's on set while all the actors are doing what they do so well, it is the most exciting thing. And the reason I know that is because I've been on sets with my clients and I've been on sets with my husband and I've been on sets with my son because he's also an actor. So I think that's what I would probably do. But of course, I'd be bossing everybody around, telling them what not to eat and what they can eat on the
You would be
set.
standing there guarding the craft services table.
Oh, that's right. Exactly. I'd be like throwing this out, throwing this
The
out,
caterers would
you
show
know.
up and you'd be like, you turn that truck around and come back with this list.
That's right. You go over there and you think about what you've done and then come back when you have healthy food.
What are we talking about? Grilled cheese sandwiches, huh?
Oh, a good grilled cheese.
I know.
But I do
Yeah,
like, so there's some breads that I really like. There's one called, and it's okay if I'm naming brands, right?
sure.
I'm not involved with the companies, but I love a brand called Base Culture. It's considered a paleo bread, but oh my gosh, when you toast it, it tastes so good. But it
Mm.
doesn't, it's grain free, it's dairy free, it's gluten free, and it actually tastes good.
What do you think of that? Paleo diet, Mediterranean diet, Atkins, those kinds of things.
Um, I think it's not, some of those are not, well, like Atkins, I think has longevity. That diet's been around for years and there's still people that do it and they have so much success with it. I think it's great. I think
There
the
isn't a lot of
original, yeah,
fat in that. Like if you're
the
somebody who has high cholesterol or whatever, you have to
right.
watch that.
It's changed over the years. The original Atkins diet was like all meat and cheese, and people were raising their cholesterol, and but they were losing weight, which is really weird.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
because they cut out the carbs and sugar.
yeah.
That's why it's not sustainable. But the new Atkins diet is a balance of carbs, fats, and proteins. So
I think
it's
Rob
better.
Lowe is on that or something. I've seen him
I
do some commercials for that.
I love Rob Lowe.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Rob Lowe. He has a great podcast called Literally, and he actually the Atkins bars are one of his sponsors. That's how much he loves it. But I know a lot of people that followed that diet and did really well. The paleo diet, not sustainable for a lot of people. They can do it and lose weight for a couple months, and then they're craving carbs like crazy because the
Mm,
only carbs you can have are from vegetables and sweet potatoes. And
yeah,
some people just can't, like, it's a fantastic diet, but most people can't sustain that forever.
right.
So you got to find somewhere in the middle. The Mediterranean diet is an excellent example of a diet that has everything and is really healthy. So that's a good one too.
Mm.
But you got to
So
find something you can stick to.
that's the key. Juanita says, "What are your thoughts on banting?"
What's that?
Yeah, Juanita, what is banting? I'm not familiar with that
Now
either.
you're going to make me look it up on my phone.
Oh yes, Toby. Kevin Sizemore is
Yes.
her husband. And we have exclusive proof. Toby, actually, go back in our archives on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Kevin was a guest on our show when we had an epic conversation with Kevin, like I'm having tonight with Gina. Kevin was with us, and actually, it was Kevin that introduced me to Gina and some of the incredible work that she's doing. And of course, he's behind her 110%. So Kevin was here. If you didn't see that episode, Toby, check it out. It's on our YouTube channel. And we do have proof that they are a couple.
You
There
do?
you go.
Aw, there's little Gunner when he was
See?
tiny. Aw, thanks for show. That was from his movie, The Christmas Tree Miracle, which is a holiday favorite. Like, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it on Netflix or Amazon Prime, or it's on all of those, I think, and then or you can buy it.
There it
But
is.
it's such a great movie. It's so
Where,
cool.
so that's where this was taken?
That was at the premiere of the Christmas Tree Miracle film. Yeah.
That's great. Great
Yeah.
shot. Great shot. So yes, there's my Hot Wheels buddy there, Gunnar. And
Now
Kevin.
he's up here. He's this tall now.
Now he's taller. Yeah, he's grown. I know, by leaps and bounds. Absolutely. We have same circle of friends. I'm a promoter of artists and musicians.
Oh, Toby, you have to get in touch with me, Toby. I want to talk to you.
Yeah. And Toby, let's have some of those artists and musicians on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Toby, you need to email us at jimmasterstv@gmail.com, jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Let's get some of those folks on our show. That'd be fantastic, Toby.
Okay, this was so fun, Jim. I have to tell you, I cannot believe we've been talking for 2 hours.
Could you imagine? No. Well, two East Coasters. I mean, this is like we're just
I know.
warming up.
This is incredible because I mean,
got Philly and New York in the house here.
It's been so much fun. I didn't even realize we were on that long.
Could you imagine? Yeah.
There's so many good questions. I'm sorry if we didn't get to all of them, but I do want to answer Juanita's question about the Banting diet. I forgot about William Banting. That's how long ago I went to school. But it's a low carb, high fat. That's fine. That's actually like what was that, Jim? What was that diet? The Zone diet. Remember that?
Yes.
That was like the Banting diet. It was like 30-30-30.
Yeah, that came out of the gate like really hot too, didn't it?
Yeah, or it was 40-30-30. Does that equal 100? Wait, yeah, that equals 100. So the Zone diet was 40 protein, 30 fat, 30 carbs. And that actually works for a lot of people to this day. It's really great. But Banting was onto something, right, about keeping it low carb. Yeah. Because let's face it, too many carbs, too many processed foods make us fat. They raise our cholesterol. They cause heart disease and diabetes. So we're better off without them.
Absolutely.
Good question, Juanita.
Good question, Juanita. This was amazing. We have chatted for 2 hours plus, and it was like nothing, I try to always make it, it's just my personality, but it's the way I do it on TV and radio anyway. I don't call these interviews, I call these conversations. Yes. I say the best interviews are not even interviews, they're conversations. Warm, freestyle. Some of the work I do, as you know, there's the scripted world where everything is scripted, questions are pre-prepared, or you've gone over, or you reviewed the questions. I like to just have it ad lib, and we feel the vibe and we roll with it, because some amazing things happen, as has happened tonight. And with our lovely viewers, along for the ride as well. And, Lawrence was on the show. So that's what drew to the show. Okay, so Lawrence Juber, the wonderful guitarist, Paul McCartney's guitarist in Wings, was on our show. So that's what introduced Toby. That is fantastic.
I'll have to go back and listen to that one.
We got a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
458 episodes. You're 459. Wow.
I heard that if you're the 459th guest on your show, that I win a prize. That's what I heard.
You know what you get? You get a personal greeting from George Burns.
Wait, is that a pull thing where he talks?
No, this no, this
Or
isn't
is that him? Is that actually
this
him?
is George, who played God. Remember, he played God.
Oh, yes, I know
George has
George
got,
well.
but George, you're supposed to have hidden the cigar. Gina does not want to see the
Oh,
cigar.
George, we're
But
not
he did live
smoking.
to 100. Uh,
He did.
my aunt Lillian, my mother's sister, one of the 16 kids, collected dolls. She collected dolls, and so
I got a picture of that. That was
this
awesome.
one, he turned 100. They had a limited edition doll that came out when George turned 100, and he's actually on a pedestal. He's got his shoes,
That's
you know,
great.
whole bit. There's this whole certificate of authenticity, the whole bit, and he goes in a plastic, like a cellophane. He goes in a special box. You know, he's not even really supposed to be out of the box. But whenever I show him, it puts a smile on everybody's face. So he's
Oh,
an
he
actual
was
collectible
great.
doll. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of collectibles.
I mean, we have
Okay.
Gilligan here. We got the I Dream of Genie bottle here.
You do?
all
You have
here.
the I Dream of Genie bottle? I want one of those.
You do?
Oh my gosh, I love that show so much. But I'm going to brag on my son for a second because we collect. Oh gosh, there it is. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Where did you get
This
that?
was a gift from a really close friend. Knew that I always, was a fan of the show. This thing weighs
I
a
love
ton.
that show. I love that show.
It's really beautiful, huh?
Oh, that's gorgeous. I love it. Well, me and my son, he doesn't do it anymore because he's a little older now, but we collected Funko Pops.
Here we go.
These? Do you know these? All right. Well, some of these are super valuable. Like I have one that I paid $9.99 for that's worth $300. Okay. And if you're a collector, you do not take them out of the box. But this one is Ultraman Ace from the Ultraman reboot series. And this is my son's character. So this was the first time he ever had, because he does voiceovers. Okay. So this is the first time he ever did a voiceover for a show. And they made one of these Funko Pops out of his character.
That is cool.
That was pretty cool. But I also collect, if you haven't noticed, behind me is Wonder Woman. That I had commissioned an artist in Nashville by the name of Mike Smith to do this for me. And I have a whole bunch of them in my office here that he drew for me because I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. And I have every single Wonder Woman Funko Pop that has ever been made. I've got like 300 of them, people.
Yeah. There's an extra wing on the house just for the Wonder Woman area.
We might have to move. I don't know.
She has more than what the Hollywood Museum has.
I do, and I'm proud of it.
We have Gilligan.
So. Oh, I love Gilligan.
This came from Dream of Denver.
Did you get Dreama on your show?
She was on twice.
Oh my gosh.
Aloha, Jim. Dreama. We've had epic conversations. So she said, you know what's missing from your set, Jim, of all these things you have? I got to send you a Gilligan. So she autographed it, sent it. She was on twice, and she loves the whole Lovity, and she just really she's a definite Lovity. She's an amazing person, isn't she? We love Dreama.
She's great. In fact, we're recording our podcast with her next week.
Oh,
so she's a dear friend, and she's had a lot of health interruptions that she wants to share with everyone.
Right.
So if you love Dreama, you'll have to tune into that episode.
Toby says, I've got 6 of those. They're cool collectibles.
Yeah, Toby. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, the wrestling ones, Toby. Yeah, those are great. My son has a few of those too.
It's amazing. That's awesome. This was awesome, my friend. And
so fun, Jim.
Yes, give our best to Laura. And again, hopefully we'll have her on as well and see how she's doing. Send her our love and good wishes. And Kevin as well, Kevin is in Atlanta, like you said, on a film shoot right now, right?
He's actually working on an HBO series called The Staircase. And he just finished a film called Into the Spotlight, where he plays a drummer. He plays a rock star, and he actually plays the drums. So it really is him playing, if you see that.
So when we were texting each other today, he was in Atlanta doing that. I thought he was across the kitchen table from you. I didn't realize that.
No, he's in Atlanta doing the HBO series, and he in between working on that, he ran to Nashville and did a movie for a couple of weeks. So that was the one where he's a drummer. So cool. You'll have to look for that when it comes out.
Have him back on and get some updates on some of those cool things. Well, my friend, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Gina.
Thank you, Jim. This has been really a lot of fun. It was the fastest 2 hours I've ever had on a show. So, because it was fun and your lovities are so awesome. And I enjoyed their questions and enjoyed meeting them. And the fact that you have people from around the world makes it even more special. So keep doing what you're doing, my friend. It's awesome.
I appreciate that. You as well. You as well. High five.
High five,
And, and,
bud.
and give your East Coast friends here some levity that we get through that hurricane that's coming.
I'm
Boom.
praying for y'all. I really hope that it goes by you quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to come, but hopefully it'll quick. They're thinking it's going to stall and it'll be here for about 30 hours.
Okay, hunker down, folks.
Yes, hunker down.
Watch some of Jim's past episodes, and then go.
Binge
Then, when
watch.
you're done binging Jim's episodes, you can binge my podcast. So,
That's it.
and then we'll see you with Laura next time.
It's a bingeable world we live in.
Yeah, definitely.
Have a good night. Now, I
All
always
right.
say to all the guests, and you'll love this, get the circulation going. Go stretch those legs.
Yes, I'm gonna.
Sitting
I'm
there for
gonna
2
give.
hours.
Yes, I'm gonna give your listeners and viewers a call to action. For those of you that can get out and walk, I want you to try to get 10,000 steps like every day. Okay. But you can work up to that. But by the end of the week, I want you doing 10,000 steps and then report back to me on social media. How
Yes,
about
we will keep abreast of that, folks. All right,
that? Pinky promise.
you've got a lovely
Pinky promise.
assignment here, gang.
All right.
You've
Cool.
got a lovely assignment, gang.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jim.
You take care. Give my best to Laura. Give my best to Gunnar. Give my best to my Hot Wheels buddy, and give my best to Kevin as well. Okay.
Sure will, Jim. Thank you so much, and thanks to all the lovities for listening.
Say hi to Dreamer for me too when you chat with her.
Oh, I definitely will.
And if I'm out there, on a TV shoot or something, I will let you guys know. Maybe I was going to say break bread, but maybe I shouldn't say that. What else should I say? We'll get together and chat. We'll have a smoothie.
We go. We'll have a
smoothie.
black coffee with no sugar and cream.
Forget about breaking the
bread. For you, I will break bread. How's that?
Oh, good.
And if you come out here and you don't call us, we're going to be upset. I'm just saying.
Coming to Encino, road trip, JMS live on location in Encino with Wonder Woman.
Yes, thank goodness. That would be great.
Have a good night, my friend.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye now. Celebrity personal trainer, health expert, great friend of our show, Gina Lombardi. I hope you guys got some good tips. This was one of, again, our lifestyle portions of our show. As you guys know, we do entertainment, we do talk, and we do lifestyle segments. I've hosted a lot of lifestyle shows on radio and television over the years, and I love when we talk about lifestyle as much as we talk about, acting and music and all these other things that we talk about. I love when we have folks coming into and stopping by Levity Hall here, the Jim Master Show Live. And we talk about things that affect all of our lives and healthy living, healthy lifestyle, getting back on track, having a positive mindset, being inspired. We talk about that a lot on our show. We sort of sprinkle that we weave it into the entertainment that we have, the host chat, levity chats that we do and everything else. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you've been with us for the 2 hours and 13 minutes, you guys really are levity plus, which makes you a troopity. See, when you're a levity, you are not just a casual viewer. You're there all the time, and you're sharing the links, and you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you're just pouring out the love and connecting. But then there's a level 2. There's a troopity. That means you're a real trooper. You are somebody who, is a levity plus. So a lot of you have been leveling up to troopity land. And, a lot of the conversation we had, I'm very, what's the right way to put it? I wasn't going to say astute, but I'm very familiar with a lot of this conversation and a lot of these topics because I've interviewed a lot of people in my professional life who are in the health and wellness area. I'm a deep listener, and I've picked up a lot of things from people I've interviewed on television, on PBS, people on the radio series that I do, television shoots. Plus, I'm always interested in health and wellness. So a lot of that conversation, I was able to relate with what Gina was talking about and share some of it from my perspective too, because of being familiar with it. So hopefully you fine folks, lovities, picked up some cool tips that maybe you can apply to your own life as well. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it tonight. If you still have some ice cream to finish off, don't throw it out, finish off the ice cream, and then maybe start tomorrow. But make sure you do start, whatever it is you're doing. One of the good things that I think is great about what you fine folks, our lovities, tell me all the time is that this show, this series, the Gym Master Show Live, entertainment lifestyle talk show series, it's a mouthful, lowers your blood pressure. It makes you feel good. You feel happy. You feel like you're part of a family. You look forward to our show when we're coming on live, because we have these epic conversations about life and about everything. If you think about it, if you look back over the course of 459 shows we have done, we did 2 episodes in the same day today. Most people don't do that. They do one show. They don't usually do it every single day. They do maybe something once a week or every other week or a couple times a week, once a month. We're here constantly for you guys, connecting with you. And I know many of you have expressed that the Gym Master Show really puts a smile on your face. You really feel connected. And a lot of you are very open about your lives too. You express, you talk about your health, you talk about family, you talk about your fears, you talk about your happiness, you talk about your careers. And I think that's cool. And what's really special to me about that is you feel that there's trust. You feel warm, comfortable, sort of safe here with all of us to be able to share your lives. I'm talking to you, the viewer, the lovity, whether you're watching live now or you're one of the many that likes to leave a nice comment after the show on our YouTube channel. You guys have been really open and expressing some absolutely extraordinary things. And I love that because I'm a conversationalist anyway, as you guys know, and I'm communal. And I think sometimes when you are authentic and when you are real and you feel connected, the only way that you're going to express what you guys express is if you feel comfortable and you feel trust and you feel like this is a sort of a safe place to come. Even if we talk about something on Broadway or Hollywood or anything, you just feel connected. That can be rare too, because we're not all in the same room. Some of us are thousands of miles away from each other. There are oceans in between us. There are cities, there's continents in between us. And then there's some that are, a half hour from here. But it's just that we're able to come together in the way that we do with such variety. That's the key about this show. It isn't the same thing all the time. I never wanted it to be the same thing. I mean, the set, music, the flow has a formatic to it. Yeah. And we tweak that as we go along. But there's just something about the variety and the fact that we're here and we're live and it's freestyle and you're in here with us. You're a part of the team as our faithful viewers. I just think it's so cool and rare, because you don't always get these opportunities to, express in this way and connect. So continue spreading the word. That's the bottom line. Continue telling everybody about the Gym Master Show Live. All these guests that you've been introduced to. I've been, expressive about my life as well, which I've enjoyed doing. And you guys have been doing the same thing. I think it's really cool. So whatever it is you get out of our series, regardless of the topic or whatever it is we're saying or doing, as long as you're enjoying yourself and you want more and you keep coming back and you tell others, that's golden for us. That's what it's all about. And as long as you keep doing that, we'll be here for you. Many people said, are you going to do this just for the pandemic? And that was never the thought. People have wanted me to do this for years. I just never had the time because I'm so busy with my day-to-day work, which really takes me in a lot of different directions. a lot of different hours and all these different shows and just so many different things. And sometimes I'm on planes and sometimes in different cities, or I'm in studios for hours, whatever it may be. But when this pandemic came, I just said, you know what? I want to do this. I said, what the heck? I'm going to turn on the lights. I was supposed to be in Ireland, Texas, Florida in the early part of 2020 for television shoots. And the planes weren't flying. So I said, you know what? I talked to friends, colleagues in the TV industry, and we purchased television lights and the cameras and built this home studio and, pulling out all the stops to give you guys as quality a broadcast, a production, a show as we can. And we're always tweaking. We're always growing. We've certainly tremendously evolved from the early days of the show. But one thing we haven't changed is the warmth, the connection, the openness, the empathetic approach. Like I say, the old school variety talk show style with the modern twists of today, bringing back the lost art of conversation. Even from the very first day that I turned everything on and it was just me talking to the screen. I didn't even have guests the first couple of days. And then some friends started coming on, and then others I've interviewed in television, radio started coming on. And now we have a waiting list of people that want to come on the Jim Master Show live, which I think is, that's the jockeying of it. Okay. All the different dates, and then it's trying to fit everybody in while still, having family time and life and doing my professional works. It gets a little juggly here and there, and a hurricane coming. Stay away, hurricane. We love the ocean. Don't aggravate our ocean. But it's something that just, every time that I do these shows, it's just amazing to me that you follow and you watch and you rave about it, and you express so much about yourself, about what we're doing here and how it matters to you. And again, when looking at some of the early episodes, we've really come a long way but what has not changed is the overall feeling and the vibe. Some of the set may have changed, graphics, music, production value, all of that. My hair is a lot longer than it was when I started. I used to wear the hat. Remember that cool hat? I may bring that back. A lot of different things like that. I know you guys like when I wear that special hat, but if you look back at all the things we've done, the holiday shows, the Lovity surprise pop-up shows, the, special guests and on location and all these things we've done, we've taken this show out of the studio. We've moved around here in the studio, which is actually our house here on the coast. It just blows me away. It really, really does. And so I want to make sure I express that to you guys. Here we're talking about health and wellness and living a healthy life and a long life and a productive life. And because life, as we know, is short, precious. And sometimes you're dealt a hand that you'd rather not be dealt, and you got to work with it. So hopefully some of the things that we say and do on this show help you with that. I know a lot of you have been very open. You've written to me personally as well, telling me, and in our Facebook group, the Jim Masters Show Lovity Hall, you guys are so expressive and so active. If you didn't know, for those watching, first-time watchers, welcome, that we have a Facebook group for this show, the Jim Masters Show Lovity Hall. It's for the viewers who watch this show. They chat with each other. They show photos of their grandkids and what they're doing, and they express. You asked for that, and I wanted to make sure we had that for you guys, so we set that up. I just think it's really so special and cool that you feel so connected to me, to the guests, and to one another. You have formed friendships amongst yourselves, which is rare for something like this to happen. Being live helps with that. And, being interactive with you, I think, has sort of facilitated that feeling where you want to be connected with me and with our guests and with the rest of the audience. And what's really cool is when we have new viewers that come in, all these different groups like say, for example, it's a singer and they have their followers and their followers come in and some of them trickle off and they become regular viewers of the Gym Masters show live. It's trickle effect. It's a lot of hard work building it up, but there's a trickle effect. They like the show. They like the vibe. They love the levity interaction. So they want to be a part of this. And we have a lot of you have come in from other episodes I've done with other guests. And now you like what we're doing. So you're a part of our family now. And I think it's so cool how you all welcome people. The minute you spot somebody new that comments, you're on it. You are on it. You know what I mean? Like an ant on a lollipop on a sidewalk. You guys are on it. You're welcoming them. Welcome this one. And you're part of the Levity family now and all that. I think that's really, really cool. And when somebody's not well or there's a loss or somebody did something that they're proud of, you guys are so great about celebrating that. When I tell you things that are happening in my world, maybe some things I accomplished or cool things that I'm happy about, you're so lovingly expressive to me about, rooting me on and rooting this show on. Don't think that hasn't been noticed. It certainly has been. I talk about it all the time with family and friends. I'm like, this is really amazing. These fabulous people from all around the world who are here. And it's like, I feel like we're all in the same room. And we sort of are. Again, like I said, we have oceans between us, some of us, and we have continents between us. Good old Carla in Brazil and Juanita in South Africa and Jane in Sweden and Nias, who was with us this afternoon from Paris, and Merlin in Canada, and everybody around the United States and everywhere else. When Eileen chimes in from Australia and others, it's very, very cool. But let's check in with some of the lovities. I would imagine that there's probably a few wonderful comments that you guys want to say. And yeah, I love the lifestyle episodes. And just so you know, in addition to the Masters Mantras series, I am working on a third series. It's very, very exciting. And we're going to, still keep the Gym Masters show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series, but there's something very cool that's in the works. Now, if you know anything about me, I like to take my time. I like to do things right. And I like to put the best foot forward and give everything the best shot. Like we've said with some of our guests, we're not striving for perfection in life. You strive for excellence. So there's a new series that's going to be rolling out in the fall, and we're very excited about it. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, Gym Masters TV. So you'll have several different things you can enjoy. The Gym Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series with great guests and more and all of the levity and everything. The Masters Mantras Visual and Verbal Video Series, which I know you guys enjoy and check out. The minute we put one up, you guys are jumping on it, commenting and liking it. And then we'll have some special things with a new series that we're going to be putting on our Gym Masters TV channel that we're working on. So cool. Kathleen says, how do you know I just finished the ice cream? Shh. Gina's left the building. So, but she'll probably share this episode. So she's going to know you had the ice cream, Kathleen. She'll let you have it, just in moderation. Juanita says, love the lifestyle episodes. So much to learn. Thanks, Jim. I put a lot of effort into these lifestyle segments, and we're going to have more of them. If you guys have suggestions, send us an email. Suggestions maybe as far as guests, but also topics, things that you'd like us to do in the lifestyle portion. We have entertainment, we have celebrity friends and guests, we have all kinds of cool things, and we have talk. But for the lifestyle portion of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, shoot us an email and let us know if there's some topics you'd like us to focus on. We've talked about relationships, we've talked about love and loss, health and wellness, pets, food, whole host of things in the lifestyle category. I've slept in. We'll go check the beginning in the archives. I'm glad you slept in because you were with us this afternoon as well. And you were waiting for her dog. I think they were keeping the dogs at bay because they were rambunctious. I said to her, do you want to put the dogs on? She said, they're a little, and hot fudge. I have ice cream in the refrigerator that has hot fudge on it. Yes, I do. I'm going to have it because we spent the money on it. And I won't be swimming in the ocean this weekend because the ocean is very, very angry right now. The Atlantic doesn't look like that photo that I always show you towards the end that we showed Gina. Calm, beautiful Atlantic. It's a love affair. The Atlantic and I have a love affair, as you can tell. The Atlantic doesn't look like that tonight. High seas, riptides, and you know what? With this hurricane that's approaching, it's full moon. So that's what they're concerned about for the folks that are directly on the water, the flooding, because it's going to be when the hurricane hits New York first and then comes up to the New England coast. There's going to be a lot of flooding and rain inland too. They're talking all the way up to like Albany, New York, up into Boston, Maine, northern New Jersey. It's a sizable storm. So, there's rip currents. It's not a friendly ocean, not a beach weekend. Good thing we went last weekend. Remember we told you we were going to the beach, we were going to the coast. Good thing we went. And it was an absolutely stunningly beautiful week. Today was gorgeous here along the coast. Really. It was like the calm before the storm. I posted a picture on Facebook about that, the calm before the storm. And it's always like that. Just before it snows, for those of you in the northern areas where it snows, when the sky gets sort of white and then everything is still, when a snowstorm is coming, it's like everything is still and quiet. It's almost like everything is muffled and the sky is pure white because it's snowing way above. It hasn't hit the ground yet. It's really cool. It was kind of like that today. It was cloudy in the morning because there was Tropical Storm Fred, I think, that came through too, but that was earlier in the week. Remnants of it were still here. And then sun came out and it was warm. It was beautiful. It was 85 degrees. It was no humidity. It was gorgeous. And then it got cloudy. So that storm is literally probably on our doorstep now. But we'll get through it. Our guest earlier this afternoon, Frances McGarry, if you didn't see that, terrific episode. She was very open. She's an arts advocate, actress. She's in that Christmas movie, One Royal Holiday. If you didn't see that episode earlier, that's a Hallmark movie. And I know you guys love Hallmark Channel. My mother watches all those too. She loves the Hallmark movies, the Lifetime movies. She's been watching those for years. All right. Juanita says, go have the ice cream, Jim, before the power goes out. Springtide. Yo. Is that yo or yeah? Stay safe. Thank you, Juanita. Be safe, Amy. Good to see you, Amy. Hope you're doing well. Maybe with some spices in the mayonnaise. Oh, that's the French fries dipped in. Wait. Oh, no, Juanita. French fries dipped in ice cream. Wait, I'll have to scroll back. Who has that? Yes, when I was in the Netherlands, in Holland and the Netherlands, Holland is part of the Netherlands, mayonnaise with their French fries is like a regular thing. It's like, French fries and mayonnaise is very big in the Netherlands. I got to get back there. My mother has always wanted to go to Holland. She loves the tulips. She just loves the windmills. She loves all that. Love to take her there on a special trip. And to Sweden too, to see her mother, my mother's mother, Swedish, and her grandmother, as I told you, came from Sweden. Princess came from Sweden and settled in Boston. I'd love to take her there to see the family. Gothenburg. I don't know if I'm really saying it properly. Jane is better at saying it's a Göteborg, the second largest city underneath Stockholm. That's where that side of the family comes from. Oh, you guys are really saying some cool things here. I love this. Keep your fingers crossed, Alessandra. If we're not here Monday, we've got a great guest lined up Monday. if for any reason we're not here Monday, it means our power got knocked out in the region. They are expecting power outages, which will take out the Wi-Fi too. Our guest set up for Monday. Again, this is for those who are watching live. Again, if you're watching this episode 6 months from now, then this guest will probably have already been on. We have this guest planned for Monday, William Halal. He's an absolutely amazing author, professor emeritus, George Washington University. He wrote this incredible book called Beyond Knowledge. He's scheduled to be with us 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific this Monday. Now, if for any reason you don't see us on, that means that the power in the region here in the Northeast got knocked out by the hurricane, because the storm is coming tonight through tomorrow into Monday morning, early afternoon. And if power does get knocked out, it might not be restored by then. Fingers crossed. But the power company, I mean, we've been getting all kinds of bulletins on our cell phones and warnings and all kinds of stuff. You know, the local town selectmen and the governors and everybody's been giving all, and it's all over the television set too. But they're expecting the power in certain areas to be out as much as 10 days. So hopefully not, because we have so many great guests lined up. Now, the only thing I'd be able to do is if we charge up, I can do this show, believe it or not, from the cell phone. I believe I can. I haven't done it yet from the cell phone. I mean, we use the studio equipment here, but I could possibly and use this if the cell phone is charged up, and the cell phone obviously has the camera, and I'm able to sign into the system that we use. I might be able to do, something with a cell phone. I might be able to keep the show going on the air if we get knocked out. I'm talking about really Monday. I might post a couple of people are saying, hey, show us the water, show us the hurricane. I may, if it's not too rough outside, maybe do some of our checking in and chiming in videos that I do, usually on Facebook, or sometimes a Master's Mantra. Hey, Jim Masters checking in, chiming in. So maybe I'll do some reporting on the hurricane tomorrow, possibly. But as far as the shows next week, we'll see if we can do maybe something on the cell phone to keep things flowing. If not, then we'll reschedule William. But as everything stands right now, we still have William with us for Monday. Harlan is going to be with us. Harlan Rector, he's extraordinary. He is a renowned voiceover artist. Voices on video games, movies, television, commercial, everything. He's incredible. But he's also written this book, author of I Matter, Finding Meaning in Your Life at Any Age. He's here on Tuesday. Now, Wednesday is a very big show because we have Canadian platinum-selling crooner and jazz vocalist Matt Dusk. I interviewed Matt on PBS television here in the United States, and he's all excited about popping on. He's going to be here for an extraordinary conversation and music. Platinum-selling Canadian crooner and jazz vocalist Matt Dusk is going to be here live from Canada. Are you listening, Merlin? Matt Dusk is going to be here, and invited him to pop on, and he's all excited as well. So he's going to be here, and we have a bevy of other guests. Coming up soon, we have actress and film producer Ashton Clay and musician and music producer Rich Adams. They're going to be on in early September with us. Yeah. And a lot of other guests. Let's see, who else is coming up? Let's see. Oh, well, on Tuesday, August 31st, we will have power then. The one and only Dina Martin is with us. Singer and actress extraordinaire and daughter of Hollywood legend Dean Martin. She's actually a wonderful friend. I know her husband. We've been at events together, and they are fabulous people. Love Dina. And again, she's going to be with us. Now, it's a special time. You might want to note it. It's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern. It's a special time because we're working around Dina's very busy schedule. So it's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. So 4 p.m. Eastern. We say Eastern because that's where we broadcast the show from, the Eastern time zone. And then for those on the West Coast, 1 p.m. On Tuesday, August 31st, live, Dina Martin is going to be here exclusively. It's going to be fantastic. Really excited about that. Also coming up in September, Bruce Reisman, Hollywood film director. He's worked on Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, TJ Hooker, all kinds of TV series, movies extraordinaire. We have an epic and very funny conversation coming up. Screenwriter, producer, and more coming up from Hollywood. He's going to be here as well. Kimberly Faye Greenberg's all excited. She's hopping on. She's a fantastic actress, great sense of humor, and a Broadway expert. She's coming on the show as well. So just a few of the folks that are going to be chiming in. Good night and sleep tight, Joan, and you too, Jane, as well. Sherry Larson says, you're all still here. Isn't that amazing? I see ice cream and hot fudge. I must have missed a good one. Just need the French fries. Oh, no. You guys are all talking about this now that Gina's not here. You held back, huh? Good night, everyone. Stay safe. You too, Juanita. So we'll either be here Monday with William Halal, our special guest. Again, if we're not here, if our power goes out, we might not be able to post in our Facebook group. I might be able to do it on the cell phone. I'll try to see if I can do that. But again, if we're not here Monday, it means the power went out. So just keep abreast of our YouTube channel. Binge watch the episodes. We're working towards being here Monday. But again, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature. She is in charge with this one. And Hurricane Henri, Henri. Looks like Henry, but it's Henri. Fantastic name, but what a rotten personality. With so much coming up, Jim, I'm glad I'm retiring from work in October. Maureen, I don't know if Maureen was with us from Arizona tonight, but if not, she'll watch this in the archives. She's retiring from nursing too after many years in December. So you're retiring. Oh, that's great. You can have more time to watch our series. Good night to Jane in Sweden and Juanita and Sherry. And to Mary Bishop and to anybody that's watching right now that isn't commenting, because we have a lot of people that watch do not comment live during the show. That's perfectly fine. Jane says, hope you stay safe from Henri, the hurricane, because we all want you to be back as soon as possible. And we want to be back as soon as possible as well. Sometimes I don't talk about topical things during the show when we have a guest, only because what I'm talking about now with the hurricanes 6 months from now, if somebody's watching this episode, it won't matter. But because we're live and it is a talk show, hey, this is all being documented. Good night, all. And thank you as well for being here, Mary. Good night, all. And those of you in the path of the storm, be safe. I imagine you probably have some family and friends here in the Northeast too, Mary, since you come from here as well, from the Northeast United States. Gang, you're the best. And yes, hang in there, Kathleen. You got the hurricane coming to you too. Have a great night, Jim. Emoji, emoji, emoji. Stay safe. Talk soon. Good night, all. And you as well, my friend Kathleen Walker in New York City. Joan Sands says, stay safe, Jim. We need you. Yes, when you see Hurricane Henri on your television, think of us, because we will be in the thick of it tomorrow. And hopefully everything will be good. Juanita says, good night, everyone. Stay safe. You too as well. And anybody that is watching that is in the path of the hurricane or anything that's going on around the world. I mean, there's so much stuff. There's been all that flooding that happened in Germany and Belgium and China and other parts of the world, and earthquakes and blizzards. Have you been watching the volcano that's still erupting in Iceland? It started in March. It hasn't erupted for 6,000 years, and it's still going. I think the Earth is trying to give us a message. Yes, an oasis. I love this. Kathleen says, Lovety Hall, my happy, safe place. Always there when I need you. Thank you very much, Kathleen. And Joan agrees with you. You said it, Kathleen. My oasis is Lovety Hall. And Juanita says it's because Lovety Hall is our virtual Zen place. You got it. I'm the captain of Zen. King Lovity here, like Joan has dubbed me. Good stuff. You guys are the best. We'll wrap up here. This has been an extended see you later because I guess of the hurricane. But anybody that hasn't subscribed to the channel, we would love that. YouTube channel, and click the notification bell. I know we say that often, but there's always new people checking in and don't know that they can do that. So if it's repetitive, it's just really for the new people who haven't done it yet. And we appreciate everybody who has. Click the notification bell as well. And again, if you love this episode or any of our episodes, even past episodes, give a like, thumbs up, drop a comment there for us as well. Because you know what happens when you do that? It really does help us because YouTube sees that. Then they take the episode and they blast it out to more people, which I think is fantastic. All right, gang. That's a wrap. We are going to have the ice cream. Shh. Don't tell Gina. In moderation. Remember, in moderation? In moderation. But we do have a lot of things here prepared at the house in case we didn't buy anything that goes in the freezer or the refrigerator. They tell you not to do that. We do have some bread because we got to have some stuff that you don't have to cook in case we lose the power. Central air conditioning is going to be knocked out too, and hopefully it won't be hot. Then again, you never know, right? As we always say, be positive. Maybe the power will stay on. Maybe we're in a little area here where the power, we're in a pocket here where we really don't get a lot of storms. We don't get tornadoes. We don't get earthquakes. We do get the snowstorms, but that's been really few and far between in recent years. We haven't been getting those blockbuster snowstorms of yesteryear. And we really haven't had a hurricane in a long time. So I guess we're due. So we're in a little bit of a pocket. So maybe the power won't go out. Fingers crossed. Believe me, down there, the toes are crossed. All right, gang. If you missed this episode, chimed in late, or you'd like to see this or anything again, all those episodes are there, 459. And what's really cool? When I'm taking a look at some of the things that are happening, there's a lot of people that are watching episodes we did like a year ago and a year and a half ago and 6 months ago, because it's new to them. They're checking us out now with the new episodes, and then they're going back in time, and what is, previous is new for them. Maybe it is for you too. And they're leaving all kinds of fabulous comments. They love the show. They love the series. They love the style. They love the vibe. Thank you if you're doing that. That means a lot. Even if you're doing it with the previous episodes of our show, you can comment on those episodes. You can thumbs up them. Thank you, Kathleen. She did a super sticker. Gilligan loves that. Gilligan's shirt matches the color of your super sticker. Gilligan loves Kathleen. Gilligan, Bob Denver, played Gilligan in Gilligan's Island, the sitcom TV series. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Kathleen. Very nice. That's the super stickers, super chat, super thanks that happens during the show. We love that. And don't forget the French fries. I noticed you waited. Did you chime in late? You waited for our guest to leave before talking about the French fries. Health and wellness expert and celebrity personal trainer, Gina Lombardi. So her husband is actor Kevin Sizemore, who was a guest on our show. If you guys didn't see that episode, Kevin was here. Well, not here, by way of virtual. And we had an epic episode with Kevin. We'll have him back as well. He's a good guy. We love Kevin. And we're all friends. Kevin, Dream of Denver, Gina, Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., who was on America's Got Talent. Remember? You didn't see that episode? He was on our show. We're all in the same group here. Go back and watch that episode. That was another epic episode with that wonderful singer as well. All right, gang, we're going to wrap up. You guys are still with us. You truly are the best. Our YouTube channel is Gym Masters TV, a channel dedicated to entertaining, informing, educating, and inspiring with yours truly. And The show that you're watching is the Jim Masters Show Live. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the levity. When the ocean is calm, go to it if you're near it, or find your Zen place. And of course, my work in television, radio, stage, and film over the years is another Zen place for me as well. Find your Zen place and share it with the world. Ooh, I don't think I'm going to talk the rest of the night now. We did a lot of talking. I'll check out the archives. Yes, Sherry, a lot of cool archive binge watching. A lot of our viewers binge watch, and a lot of cool stuff, a lot of funny moments. The Christmas shows that we did, the whole set was decorated for Christmas. There's one show I'm all decorated. The St. Patrick's Day show, the whole set was green. I had a funny green hat. You should see the Valentine's Day one too. Wow, that was a cool one. We did a whole Valentine's Day dinner with roses and chocolates. Check it out. It's all there. It's all there. So wherever you're watching around the world, whatever time of day it is or night, we thank you very much for being with us here on JMS Live, the Jim Masters Show Live. Again, we are scheduled for a show this Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. If for any reason we're not here, that means we lost power. And again, our very special guest, Gina Lombardi. It was a blessing to have her on the show as well. And to have all of you with us as often. And yes, I said it the other night. I don't know if you were with us the other night, but I said to the guest, Moi Loop. And I mentioned that you taught us that. Walk well in African. Until next time, everyone, Moi Loop. We'll see you on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm at Jim Masters TV on all of those locations. And Mary says, once again, if you missed it earlier, when you watch the archive, our special guest actress, Frances McGarry, who was on for our Saturday afternoon episode, we did 2 shows today. She and I sang Happy Birthday to Mary and Mary's granddaughter. Thank you for the birthday wishes for my granddaughter and me. Enjoy each other's company and the beautiful birthday together as well. We love you all. Take care, gang. Be safe wherever you are around the world. You mean a lot to us, and it's a wrap. So hopefully we'll be here Monday. If we're not, then the hurricane took us out with the power, and we'll keep you abreast. We have shows booked all next week. So, and we may do some updates on Facebook and elsewhere, maybe post some videos tomorrow with the hurricane, sort of give you some, reporter on the street stuff if we have time to do that. But thanks for being with us. This was epic. This was almost 3 hours. The last half hour was just you and I chatting as usual. This is like a host levity pop-up show. Be well wherever you are. Be good to yourself and be good to others. Your host here. Thank you for your time this time. Till next time, Jim Masters saying, see you later. Be well. And we love you all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.